What does it mean? You will feel it. Walking, laughing at the madness. Chaos stays a legend of greed. Set the fire, throw a right. You're walking disaster, disaster, disaster. She'll be watching from the sidelines. United States of moment of fate. Set the fire, stop the fight. You're walking disaster, disaster.
Hello, hello, hello. It's very scary out there. And welcome to the Biopocalypse. And it's such a Biopocalypse, I can't even start the show right. I'm mad. Okay. How's it going? With me is Jason Allen.
Hello, hello, hello.
In a box. Dude, we were...
I tell you, it's apocalypse stuff going on, even though electronics are starting to shut down, dude.
Okay, what happened is we had some technical difficulties with Skype, which is why Jason's in the box over here. Couldn't get his video working. Oh well. And then I just went to go roll the intro and ready to go finally, and my laptop froze up, just froze up solid. It was just like nope, not gonna do it, not gonna do it. It was like Dana Carvey's George W. Bush. Or George H. Bush. Not gonna do it. Nope. 1,000 points of light.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Wouldn't be prudent around here. So I had to reboot the entire computer from the beginning. And then I had to see if we were still streaming, which apparently we are, I guess. God. That was really a bummer. Oh, and then I tried to hook up the Alexis when I came down here, and the Alexis wasn't working. The only thing that's working is
Live long and prosper.
Mr. Spock.
That's right.
After all, essentially irrational. Fascinating. Live long and prosper.
Yes, we got a new thing down here. It's Spock, bobbleheaded Spock.
Well, the good thing about this, I guess, is the teachable moment is we can always depend on Spock.
That's right. Teachable moment. Take your teachable moment and shove it up. Never mind. No,
Shove it up
it
your
really
brain
bummed me out. And if you... So, I don't know, this stream, like really just ready to go. I mean, granted, you had problems with your Skype and your video. That always happens, that's cool. I get that. That thing doesn't always work. But when you hit the intro on the laptop, go. And it's like, no. No. That bummed me out. So, yeah, so what a great start. Like, we're all here. We got everything going. We got a new graphics. Look at this graphics here. We had a brand new intro. I'm sort of breathing. Kind of. Sort of. I was going to turn on the phone here. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. I'm a little frazzled now. So, I mean, that's great that, we have a virus and all this stuff, but I don't care. I just want to make sure my internet... What a heck of a time for the internet not to work. Oh, see, look, every time this table goes off, Mr. Spock goes off. Kind of like it's kind of like every time Mr. Spock goes off when he's around Nurse Chapel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's been so weird. Like, I hooked up a brand spanking new, GoPro style cam to the
That's your
desktop
problem.
here, and the computer would read it, but it wouldn't. Nothing online would read it. Like if you're gonna do like Skype or anything else, wouldn't read that. So I said, okay, fine. I'll go to the backup. I'll get on a laptop. That's all we know. We've done that before. It's tried and true, and everything should work. And got on there, and it would not read the camera on the laptop. Out,
Right.
totally black screen. I'm like, Mr. Murphy of Murphy's Law is really messing with us today.
And you're getting a call right now.
That's right.
It's your test results. It's your test results.
I got to tell everybody I am down in the bunker here at the home spread here in glorious Oak Grove, Oregon, and we got comms set up. I got phones going off. I got alarms going off. I don't have the Mr. Spock.
Oh wait, Mr. Spock.
Essentially irrational. Fascinating.
Can you hear that? You are all essential.
And prospering. You are, after all, essentially irrational.
He says like 3 things.
And it's always insulting too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It was great. It brought over, put it on the thing, and all night the thing would bump and go off and go, "You are illogical. Can you turn that thing off?"
Right.
But the Alexa didn't work either. Alexa wouldn't attach. So I'm looking at us right now on YouTube, and we are on Facebook. Last time I looked, I think we were.
Yep. Yeah, we're on Facebook.
Okay, we're rolling.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, it just was weird, which is weird because I got to kind of log back in to stuff. And I made this intro. Did you see the intro?
The intro was fabulous.
I did that quick with no music. Might keep that music, huh?
Could you roll it right now?
I could.
Yeah, let's give little people a little eye candy.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me mute. Let me make sure. See, here's the problem. Let me make sure I mute the streams
Okay.
because I don't want the streams going.
Right.
Yeah. Should I roll the video again or should I?
I think you should roll all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me make sure it's working again. Hey, everything's all plugged in and going and whatnot. Okay, here it is. All right. Let's just calm. I'll have my drink. I got my special concoction here. If you can see, I don't know if you're watching this because if you can see me, but it's very ominous. It's very red. It's like lemonade and cranberry juice and some tea in there. It looks like blood wine.
Ooh.
Yeah. Klingon blood wine. Ooh.
Well, that's the thing to drink in the middle of an apocalypse.
Oh man, let me tell you. You're not kidding. Now let's roll that again. I can just do the magic. We're just gonna roll the intro one more. Well, we're just gonna retake the intro. We're just gonna redo it.
Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Washing the hands. Zombies. I hate zombies.
They're so, they've been so overused so much. No one's afraid of any zombies. Back in the day, you'd see a zombie walk down the street. Your hair would be on fire, you'd lose your stuff, right? Nowadays, everyone's got zombies, so your zombie walks down the street, like, yeah, it's a zombie. You know? Whack it in the head, you're cool.
Bio. There we go. And there we... Oh, shit. I hit the wrong button again.
Oops.
Damn it! I hit the wrong button again. I hit the button on the laptop and not the button over here.
Oh.
That was the second time. I did that the first time, too. Because I'm so frazzled. It was almost perfect. It was kind of funny with you talking over the top of the music with the
zombies.
Yeah. And I made up a new word.
What's that?
My new wait a minute, where is it here? My new word is bio-viral lips. I can't even say it.
Viral lips?
Bio-viral lips. That's it.
Viral lips.
Bio-viral lips.
That's almost as good as
go.
hot yoga.
Hot yoga.
Hot viral lips or whatever. Yeah.
Bio-viral lips.
There you go.
Not bad. Not too shabby. We'll get it.
Yeah.
It's like practice out here. It's like spring practice. Spring. What do they call it?
Spring training.
Spring training.
Spring training. Yeah.
Like spring training out here.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I was, and not only that, since we had time to prepare, since we were working our stuff out.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the news before I couldn't get the video started. To see what's going on out there, like I don't know, like, oh, someone's leg and arm just dropped off during a news conference. Whoa!
Is it your periscope coming out of the ground just to look around at what's going on with the apocalypse?
Well, and excuse me, now the cough's coming back too. Why not? Exactly. Yeah. Oh, bio-viral lips. There we go.
Right.
I need like I need a soundboard right after that too. Like when I say that, and then a guitar.
Or the bump bump bump.
Well, I've always got the. I mean, okay, so this is I can always have the the part of the intro here. Oh, right here. Bio-viral lips.
Ooh, that was drawn out. Yeah.
Pretty hot, huh? Yeah. See what I'm going for there?
I see it. It's full effect.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. This lady washing her hands is kind of attractive.
So I got some news for you.
Yeah.
I was finally able today. to get some toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
Finally. Just luck of the draw. They happen to start stocking the shelves as the wife is going through there, and of course people are grabbing at it like it's bricks of gold. And she happened to get the last two.
I don't know where it is. Do you recall that we had some emergency toilet paper down here in the studio?
Yes.
Flown in directly from the German Democratic Republic.
the DDR.
Yes. Yeah, remember
Back
that?
in the DDR.
We had some East German toilet paper. I don't know where it went. But, maybe somebody came down here and stole it. They were desperate. They were like,
Men can't even hoard East German toilet paper anymore, for God's sake.
Yeah, there's people right now praying for East German toilet paper.
Right.
Which essentially looks like, well, we had it. It's not the one time we need it as a prop, and it's not down here. It essentially looks like it has the texture of like packing material, I would say.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Amazon box. Well, no, they put those stupid little weird balloon plastic things in their Amazon, don't they?
Yep.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I was just, I guess, the White House wants to give us money.
Yep. Yep. Hey, get a load of this.
Yeah.
As we're preparing to go on the air here, Governor Kate Brown has just announced that school is now not in session until April 28th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the headline I did open up,
Okay.
right before it crashed and we couldn't go live, was Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
He's the
governor of California.
He's the governor of California. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a mayor or something before that?
He was, yes.
Okay. That's why I got confused. It's like, is he a mayor, governor? He's governor. His headline is, I don't think the schools are going to open again.
Oh, man. Ominous.
Yeah, it's like just like this.
I don't think the schools are going to open again.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And kids are like, school's out.
Right. They're all excited. Woo! Meanwhile,
Here we go.
the
Here we
parents
go.
are like, all right,
I think I can do it.
yeah. Okay.
I don't think the schools are going to ever open again.
There it is.
That's right.
I need that in the soundboard.
Right.
So that tune is a tune I did back in the 80s.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
With a pretty rockin'. It's a pretty rockin' tune. Mm-hmm. It's about a serial killer. Because that's what you do when you're doing a rockin' tune, right?
Hey, it's the 80s.
Yeah, Paul McCartney can have his Love You kind of songs. And, you know, you're in the 80s with shredding guitar going, what's this song going to be about? How about a serial killer, man? Oh, that's rad, dude. Dude, that's fresh, man.
Yeah.
Because you got to just do something like that.
Listen, if you're going to be hard, you better be hardcore.
Hey, come on. It was like, Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs back then. It's just kind of serial killer kind of a thing. I mean, people watch that on TV now. You just go to CBS and watch all your, weird...
Look at Dexter.
Yeah. Don't harsh on me for writing some song about a weirdo serial killer back in the 80s,
Right.
Everybody's reading. Anyway, it was a feel-good song of the summer.
Hey, Ted Bundy gave it 5 stars.
Well, yeah, he was kind of in the news back then. But anyway, yeah, so it was that song that has that rockin', shredding thing. And it was just me and my buddy at the time, guitar player. And so we'd write these songs. We'd go in the studio, and it was like Yes or Emerson, Lake and Palmer. 6 months later, it's like, we have a song done, One song. Wow, good job, guys. How long did that take? 6 months. Yeah, and so
it's prog rock.
Yeah, I would play all the weird keyboards and drums, and he'd play all the weird guitars and bass. And then we just flip a coin and see who was going to sing. You'd sing. No, you sing.
Yeah.
So it's that song. But then I took two other intros from 2 other songs that we did that have weird keyboards and stuff and smashed them in the intro. So it's actually
nice.
3, and they're all apocalyptic intros because I'm playing the keyboard, and at the time I was going to college studying music, so it would be like, ooh, that's a 13th chord. Let's put that in, shall we? Why, yes, I think we shall. Woo,
Well, it's musical alchemy.
Lots of Halloween music. I even ended up making Halloween videos.
Yes.
Little John Carpenter out there in Lake Oswego. I made my own horror movie and my own soundtrack. But yeah, so it's so I was like, well, that and that kind of go good together. Makes it even bigger. And then I threw this one in. It's not even quite in the right key, but it's creepy. So that's what it was. And then the drums come in, and it's a little shredding. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have Biohazard, you better have some shredding.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was it. I was thinking about just doing some weird, creepy thing, and then I checked out that intro to that tune, and I was like, well, this tune kind of just works, man, because as soon as the drums kick in, and Dave, that's what his name, Dave is on the guitar, and on his Stratocaster.
Come to think of it, I thought this was going to be really cool, right? The You know, meet me in the little picture. Everything's going good.
Yeah.
Because I had my Curmudgeons homemade hazmat suit ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's good stuff. I should have just came into the studio.
Yeah. Well, you're on lockdown. You can't. See, that's the whole point. On lockdown.
I would have wrapped myself in bubble wrap. I would have been cool.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if we're not 25 people or something, you're okay. But still, you know tomorrow. I mean, I heard like San Francisco is brother. I don't know. I mean, it's a bad thing, okay? Some people, you got to be careful. But the ramifications of all this are going to be, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, you know what? Maybe it's not on here. What I did see was a headline. Oh, yeah, Kevin Durant. Now it's like celebrities, who has the virus?
That's right. It's all TMZ, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess Kevin Durant, players who tested positive.
Yeah, 4 players total.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, in many cases the symptoms aren't there. I mean, it's bad for the people who are. It's bad for the people who are. What do I want to say? Immune system.
Yeah, compromised immune systems and mostly the elderly.
And the elderly.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I mean, last week I was in the hospital. I was not in the hospital, I was in a hospital, okay?
Yeah.
I was not in the hospital, if you get my meaning.
Right.
Like, I wasn't there for me.
You weren't a patient.
Right. But I was in the hospital for many, 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 many hours, like you do when you go to the hospital. And the ICU and the whole bit, waiting room, and like last week, I went in there and no masks. People were pretty relaxed. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a sign up that said "Wash your hands."
Sure.
Which you should just always have that sign up. Like
right,
you go to the restaurant, you go in the bathroom.
Common sense.
Hey, wash your hands. Did I tell you a story about the coworker? And I'm not talking about working in a machine shop. This was like I was working for a Fortune 100 company, high tech, right?
Uh-huh.
Educated people, college educated engineers, Mm-hmm. And we had this one guy, and he was a programmer. He'd go in the bathroom, do his business, read the thing, walk out. Like in the first time you'd see it, you'd be like, that thing, and you're standing there doing your hand washing. You watch him go over there, do his thing, walk out the door. And you're like, what's that, And for the longest time, I'd see this guy do this. And then I'm talking to another coworker that, guy, like one of the guys on your team that you directly work with, Mm-hmm. And one day, I don't know how it is, it came up. Like he goes, hey, we see the guy walking down the hall, and we're like, it was like, it's totally like a Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of a moment.
Right.
We're both there working, and the guy walks down the hall, and you see both our eyes just follow him down the hall, and we're looking out. And then we look at each other, and right then, he and I both knew. We knew about him. It was like, that guy doesn't wash his hands in the bathroom. It doesn't, right? We were just like, yep. So like for a half an hour, we're like, what's that guy's problem, man? The guy says he goes in there, does his thing. No, like you're standing there, walking out, open the door and stuff. Man, we were disgusted.
Well, you know what he is, don't you? He is a sanitary violator.
Disgusted.
Yeah.
Like we were going, we're just like, and it was so funny because we both saw him and we both look at each other, and right then, like we knowingly looked in each other's eyes, like doesn't wash the hand in the bathroom, right? Like we read each other's mind. We were like, dang. And my coworker was as outraged as I was.
Well, did anyone approach him and say, "Yeah, listen, you can't be a sanitary violator"?
By that point, see, by that point, you do want to do a Larry David. You just want to scream at the guy in the bathroom. As the guy's walking out, going to the handle, you're like, hey, yo, what the, hey, what are you doing there? You know what I mean?
Hey, did you miss something? The sink's right over there.
Exactly. This was a before Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think, was on. So, now I think, honestly, I think now Larry David has kind of empowered us. Right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So like now, you see something like that, you're empowered because of Curb Your Enthusiasm to just take it to task.
Out. Yeah.
I mean, we have outrage culture, call out culture, what do they call it, Anyway, so why not call out the good stuff like sanitary hygiene practices,
That's right. You don't want no sanitary violator, a hygiene outlaw. You don't need that.
I've always been kind of a cleanliness kind of a guy,
Sure.
I've never gone to the bathroom and said, yeah, I don't have time to wash my hands. I mean, I don't know I guess you're trained early, right? When you're a kid. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
One day you're throwing poop around and your grandma's like, get your in there and wash your hands.
Exactly.
And don't throw poop anymore unless you're a monkey.
Right.
And this was grandma, lived through 2 wars, the Depression. She knew what she was talking about.
Right.
She'd be staring this. If she were alive today, she'd be staring this virus down and like, come and get me. I dare you.
Right.
2 wars, Depression, Spanish flu. You come and get me. Grandma would.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to tell you a story, a true story, okay?
Yeah.
When one of my kids was younger, and of course you're trying to get them to practice good hygienic things, as in washing your hands.
Yeah.
I remember one time kid comes out of the bathroom, and I say, hey, you wash your hands? Oh yeah, I wash them. I look at his hands. His hands look completely dry, right? So I got him on suspect right now.
Right.
And so what I did is I went extreme on him. I said, yeah, you wash your hands? Yeah. All right, then do me a favor. Stick your hands in your mouth.
Ooh.
Right now. What? No, really. Lick your hands. I mean, you stick your fingers in your mouth. If you washed your hands, turned around and went right back to the bathroom, I will not have that.
Oh, man.
Can't be having. You got to nip that right in the bud, because the next thing you know, you're in quarantine.
Well, you're always like growing up with the kid, you and I. I mean, I don't know if people have the experiences like old curmudgeons like us, but you and I share same cultural experiences.
Sure.
And you always had that younger brother of your friend he was basically, what was that kid's name on Peanuts? Dirtbag or something? Or Pigpen.
Yeah,
Pigpen. I call him Dirtbag. He's Pigpen. And, if you had Peanuts adult, like Charlie Brown would be like,
It's like the John Cassavetes version of Peanuts, Dirtbag.
Yeah, he'd be like Dirtbag. Hey, man. He'd worry about him washing other things other than his hands. But anyway, hey-o!
Get that out of the sink right now.
Oh. You're going to wash that after you use it, aren't you? Look, that's why we're here, okay? We're just getting started. And you'd always have that younger brother of the kid. Like literally you go outside and it's like, what's your kid brother doing? He's out there digging for worms. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
What else is he doing? Eating them? Oh. Like you're just like, he's a kid who would follow the dog around. It's like, don't pick that up,
Right.
Don't you have, maybe it was the kid that genetically in the family kind of fell off the chromosome cliff a little bit, It's
maybe you're just swimming in the shallow end of the gene pool.
Yeah, dropped on the head a few times early on,
We don't know. I mean,
he'd be the kid. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you have like neighbor friends like this when you were out there with the boys, And this would be like the little brother, and what's he doing in there? It's like, eating the dog's food. It's like, what the you know, you're just like, oh man.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
Another true story. One of my kids' and his cousin's friend, he'll remain nameless,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Would come over and catch the bus with my kid and cousin and stuff, and I don't want to say, okay, I know I'm going to sound like a giant douchebag over this, but he was the prototypical one I'd think would be swimming in the shallow end of the gene pool, right?
Yeah.
Because he even sounded like this. Will you please turn off the cartoons? He did. I swear.
So you're saying he was like a Seth MacFarlane character?
Oh, easily.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, kids.
Nice.
Hey, someone messed with my muffin. You know, it was great. And at the time, you know,
here it is in the dog's bowl.
right. And now I just, you know, even if I talk about it, man, I'm a giant, you know, douchebag.
No, you're not.
I couldn't help it. The voice it screamed.
I love
just
it.
Mimicry, you know. Hey!
Seriously, he sounds like a character out of a Seth MacFarlane cartoon.
You couldn't. I mean, every time you'd talk, I almost would bust out laughing. It was hard. It was like it turned into some Pavlovian response, right? Yeah.
Right.
Hey! Next thing you know, I'm like, ha ha, you know, poor kid. He's probably like got my name on a wall with a circle and a line, you know, through it, ready to take me out.
You're always around like,
I'm gonna take him out. You know. I wonder if he sounds like that today.
Well, that's just it. You're always around like kids that have how that kid get that voice or whatever. But then it's like adults.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the heck is that? You know? I just I was at the store the other day because I had to go grocery shopping. No TP. But
yeah.
And you know, I have to say it, the young people.
The youngsters.
Yeah, some of them have quite the voice. I mean, there was this gal who was on the phone in line, talking on the phone, and it was like, how'd you get that cartoon-like voice of yours? I mean, it just was really like, okay, well, we're kind of good. It's like, you're like, I mean, like, didn't they used to have, like, diction class and things, you know? It's like, you know, okay, Today, children, we'll be reviewing the Abraham Lincoln Gettysburg Address. You know, and you'd be like, you know, the Richard Widmark School of or something, you know, or
right.
There's that one, you know, some of the great actors, you know, the Cary Grant. I mean, you know, Elizabeth Taylor, you know. And nowadays it's just like, I'm at the store and I'm going. It's like the emo Phillips school of
right. Little Bobby stand up in class and do the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
You know, he stands up. 7 years ago.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly. Like people, you know, people used to, and see, the problem is you say this and they're gonna go, you're just awful, you know. It's like, look, here's the thing. Back in the day, people used to actually study this, how to talk properly and do all this stuff.
Right.
Because they wanted to sound educated. They wanted to present well in public, you know? Somewhere along the lines in my, you know, in the years of my lifetime, all that went by the wayside. Now, you talk like this and you're wearing your pajamas to the store. It's like,
right.
What the hell happened?
Because you wanted people to take you seriously, right?
Yeah.
So you have to work on the diction and the just the overall pronunciations of stuff and try to catch any impediments or anything like that and correct it. But I mean nowadays, I mean you're in some you know, high-rise corporate conference room. You're at this long table, you know, everyone's got suits on and they're all mean looking with cigars. And then Bobby Jenkins gets up there. He's in from accounting, you know. Right. And he gets up there, you know, the next fiscal year will be. You want to take that seriously?
Yeah. No.
It's down 12%.
That's great. That's a good one.
Your 401k is screwed.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. And see, we're not harshing on like certain people or whatever. Like we're harshing on our own people, like
Sure.
like white Wall Street guys and stuff. Like every once in a while you hear like an interview or investors call or something with some CEO or something, like you're saying, like the CFO or whatever of a company, and they talk like that. You're like, what the hell? I would never, no money. No, not this guy. The way he's talking, I don't care. It's like, well, yeah, but he's one of the most brilliant financial minds that we have today. And it's like, I don't care. He sounds like crap.
Yeah.
If he's that brilliant, he can spend some money on learning how to talk right,
And people did back in the day.
Exactly.
You would go to see a speech, maybe a speech therapist, or I don't know what they called them back in the day, but they would.
I know. Yeah. It'd be like, and it would be for like anything, well, I come from the South of Texas. Speech therapy people will take you more seriously on Wall Street.
Right. News people in particular, if you'll notice, the anchors, they don't have any sort of accent at all.
Well, no. Yeah, nowadays, I don't know.
Well, back in the day, though, they all sounded like this.
There's that one guy, I think he's on CBS, and he sounds like his pants are full. The whole, we're out here in Syria, and the bombs have that. And you're like, dude, just stop. Well, he's a brilliant Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, but he talks like this. I can't take him seriously.
Right. I'm in Syria, and I need to change my pants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or then you have the opposite where, okay, I've learned how to take people seriously, so I'm going to talk like this. And it's not the guys, it's the ladies who are doing that. Well, this called vocal fry. That's what it's called. Vocal fry. Now listen, you hear it on like NPR or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Nancy Pelosi says the president. And you're just like, stop it. Just stop it.
Sound like a four pack a day smoker,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's always, you know what? That's actually one that I do all the time.
Oh yeah?
It's like if I watch a news program or I watch politicians, especially politicians or people on the news, I can tell how many packs a day that person smokes.
Really?
And you'd be surprised at how many people, it's really, it's funny because, we're out here in the Pacific Northwest, on the West Coast. I mean, we're in Nike country,
right?
Essentially, Adidas too, But it's amazing, like how it still seems the East Coast, especially the Beltway, Washington D.C. and all that. How many people you can tell just smoke like chimneys, and they used to, but you can hear in the politicians and in the news people, especially the political ones. It's like hello, welcome to, and it, and you're like.
Right.
Now, I know that woman's like only in her early 40s, but she sounds like this. And you're like, ooh.
Hard living.
Think about the chic,
Yeah. One of the first
day,
ones I
get off
ever
the smokes, lady.
thought about it.
What's that?
Was Larry King.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
He had that kind of voice, too, the Harvey Firestein voice.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably, I think he was a smoker back in the day.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I mean, that's real old school. I can see it with the old school. Like if you're coming up in the 50s, I mean, hell, you had like Edward R. Murrow, right?
Right.
With the cigarette. I mean, you had, even when we were kids, Tom Snyder would come on late night in the 70s with his cigarette, Johnny Carson, I mean, that is old school. Yeah. But even by the 70s and the 80s and all that, it was like, hey, guess what? That's going to kill you. You know who early, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I recall. Do you remember a very incredibly vocal early anti-smoking advocate,
Okay.
like as early 70s, Dick Cavett.
Oh, yeah, I remember Dick Cavett, sure.
Yeah, I believe he was like one of the first who just came out like publicly and said, you know, these companies that are selling you cigarettes, they're basically selling you death. I mean, it was like, whoa, dude, you know, you're on TV. Like some of those people like spend money on TV and advertisements. He's like, no.
Right, yeah.
He didn't care. And, you know, he's still kicking and all that. But he was, if I recall, it was Dick Cavett was one of the first, you know, early people who were just like completely anti-smoking. It's like, this is a bad thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then back then, yeah, well, of course, you had Yul Brynner.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Died of lung cancer and made a... People that don't know this, he made a commercial. I believe that was posthumous about smoking. Anti-smoking commercial. As he was dying of lung cancer.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty, you know, back in the 70s, they had some pretty hardcore commercials and trying to tell kids to not smoke.
Right,
So,
yeah. With John Wayne, too, right?
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he lost a lung over it and like a year later passed away.
Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah, John Wayne, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely John Wayne. You know, but yeah, you know, him and Lucy, the Lucy show. I mean, but all those old school people were all chimneys. I mean, that's just kind of how it was, you know. I mean, and some of them said, "Hey, look, we didn't know. We didn't think it was going to be that bad for us." I don't know. But today, like 21st century, there's no excuse. So,
yeah.
I'm kind of wondering about this whole thing too. And this does bother me a lot, folks.
Okay.
And that is, I always, if you're having something that's like this, you know, out there and we're shutting everything down, I really do want to know a lot about the demographics of like people who are getting it, the fatalities and all that stuff.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of people who do smoke and have lung complications out there in the world, like tons of them. I mean, heck, you know, Spock himself, Leonard Nimoy. He quit smoking years ago, but, you know, he died of lung cancer. He himself said, you know, this is because I smoked for years and years.
Right.
Leonard Nimoy. But you know, I wonder how much that has a bearing on all this. I mean, anytime your lungs are messed up, you know.
I would be surprised if it didn't have at least some bearing on it. Because you're already compromising your lungs, so to speak.
Well, and if you talk about places like maybe China, maybe Italy, places in Europe, you know, there's still places where a lot of people do smoke. I'm not saying that has a bearing on it, but I would like to know if some of that does have a bearing.
Sure.
Like if you're having these things going on and you're a smoker, I would definitely be concerned if I were a smoker. I'd be like, maybe that's not such a good thing right now, you know?
Right, yeah.
You know? It's like if you had some sort of pandemic that affected your liver and everyone's in a bar going, maybe I should come back on the drinking, you know?
Right, yeah.
You know? I'm just saying. I'm not a doctor.
Maybe it's time to put down the Manischewitz.
Well, there's never time to put down the Manischewitz. Jason.
All right, we'll switch to another one. Crown Royal.
There we go.
Okay.
You know, speaking of habits, so there's all these things of all these people who now are publicly out going, I have the virus now. And Idris Elba, actor Idris Elba, well loved and great actor. Yeah. He did a thing yesterday, I think, on Twitter, YouTube. He's like, he's got it. And of course, if he got it, you got to kind of stay home and stuff, like you should if you have anything.
Right.
You know, flu, bad cold and stuff. Same. But, yeah, these basketball players and all that. last week we had Rudy Gobert. That was a good one. The Utah Jazz. That was the first. Because it was they were going to go play that game. It was Utah Jazz. Was Golden State and Utah Jazz?
I believe so, yeah.
I think it was Golden State. Could be wrong, but I think it was Golden State. They're going to have, I think it was down in Utah. And then, of course, they postponed and then shut the game down. I think the next day or whatever, the NBA postponed it.
Right.
The whole thing, the whole league. But Rudy Gobert, before that game, did a interview, did the in front of the press thing with the mics, at the table. And, of course, he went around and touched everything deliberately. And the next day, he was like, oh, you got the virus. So, yeah, it was kind of it was a joke. I get it, But there was that. But, and more importantly, amid all these headlines, and this is still popped up in the headlines here, amid all this virus and celebrities and who's got it, apparently, if you are, say if you have a habit, like a drug habit, like maybe a little nose candy or whatever.
Booger sugar?
Yeah. Apparently, if you hang out with Quentin Tarantino, you could be potentially cured of that habit. The headline is, Fiona Apple says she quit cocaine after an excruciating night with Quentin Tarantino.
Excruciating.
Yeah.
Wonder what happened.
Fiona Apple apparently gave an interview, and there's all sorts of things. I didn't know she dated Louis C.K.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Paul Thomas Anderson. She doesn't have nice things to say about either. But the big headline was Quentin Tarantino. Apparently, Quentin Tarantino will drive you so nuts you will quit your drug habit. I don't know. During an in-depth interview with the New Yorker, was put off by the drug after listening to her then boyfriend Paul Thomas Anderson and the director Tarantino brag throughout the evening while hanging out at Tarantino's house. Listen to her quote. Every addict should get locked in a private movie theater with Quentin Tarantino and Paul Thomas Anderson on coke, and they'll never want to do it again.
Oh, man. So Fiona, tell me what you really think.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
In addition with all this just nutty stuff going on with our show here, I'm going to have to take a quick break.
All right.
I could just roll a little music while we wait.
Sure.
Do you want to do that?
Can if you want.
I'll be back in like 5 minutes, I want to say. I've never had to do that before.
No, yeah.
But I have to take a quick break. So how's that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I'll be fine. I'm just going to put this up here.
Okay.
And we'll roll a little music, and I'll mute it up, and we'll be back.
Here you go.
interference. If fear it means your heart is true. Or stirred up alone. Gonna find out if Carter's Jenkins home. What does it mean? What does it mean?
All right, and we are back. Now let me get the other thing here working again. You still there?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's an interesting one here. And then I got to do... nope. Oh, wait. Oh, let's see. Is it working? Is it not working? Who the... Dude, seriously.
Well, it's the apocalypse.
Oh, I know. And I'm actually trying to get this thing set up. I'm trying to get my graphic back. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, you know what just happened?
Okay, what's up?
The thing I control the video with
Yeah.
just lost its connection. Yeah. So we're sitting here with the oh, no, it's back.
We're flying blind, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how... Oh, there it is. I think I got it now. Maybe. Okay. Check me out here. No. What the... I'm like actually trying to figure out how to bring it back. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it right here.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go, hi, everybody. Here I am. And then I'm going to go here. Nope. And then I'm going to go here, and we're back.
All right.
See all the fancy stuff I had set up? All went away when I left. Wow.
That's it. Something's going on, man.
This sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, it's all the way you do it in the video. I still, you know, with all this quarantine and all this nonsense or whatever we're doing, I still have all those backlogs of videos about live video technology that I've talked about, you know.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Like I've done one of them, like last year. And it gets a lot of views and people ask questions about it. So this is like one of those kind of things, you know. And the way you
Right.
set it up is it starts, you roll a video, and then you hit a button, and everything that you built up with... And this is complicated what we're doing right now because I'm in a box, you're in a box, everybody's a box, you get a box, you get a box, you know,
Yeah.
real Oprah type stuff. But anyway, so you get it all set up, and so you trigger it, and everything works, right?
Yeah.
That's how we do it here. That's how it works here. And yeah, nothing was set up. So I'm just using one computer for it. Then I'm doing everything. And it's one of those cases where, well, I don't know. I'm rambling about this nonsense, but
Well-
it is what it is.
Well, to be fair, every piece of equipment has also been quarantined too. So
I guess I have taken off in the middle of a show, but it's usually because we've had a guest or something, or someone's knocking. You know what I mean?
sure, yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever, like, I just sat down and I was just like, I gotta go. I gotta call my broker.
That's right. E.F. Hutton.
Yeah. Oh, brother. So
Yep.
yeah, what a day it is. So anyway, let's see, where were we? We were talking about Fiona. The cure for cocaine habit is Quentin Tarantino.
There you go.
Is it St. Patrick's Day today?
It is St. Patrick's Day.
See, no one even...
I know.
Like, when this show started, actually, that's the anniversary of this show,
That's right.
was St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. That's correct. Yeah.
This is when this program started. The very first video on YouTube is St. Patrick's Day. And we
Right,
had live call-in from New York on St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. It was, what, 3 years ago, right? Yeah.
Or more.
Right.
So,
or more.
happy St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
God, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. It
No one's
totally
thinking
flew
about
out of my radar. I was gone, over the weekend, and so
Yes.
I didn't get back into town till later, later in the night. So I, woke up today and wasn't able to get the corned beef cooking.
Yeah.
Well, today has been a total wash, and now we've got technological apocalypse going on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look,
But I did
I've got my
do one
red.
thing right though.
I should have got green. What's that?
Oh, the one thing I did right was I DVR'd The Quiet Man
Oh, yeah, the quiet. That's right. You watch that every year.
every St. Patrick's Day. Yep.
Now, who's in that?
John Wayne.
Oh, it is John Wayne. Oh, the Quiet
Yep.
Man. That's
Maureen
right.
O'Hara.
That's right. That's your St. Patrick's Day tradition.
That's right. Yeah. Eat
Is it-
corned beef and we'll watch The Quiet Man.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you're just gonna have the tofu then?
Right. Well, I'm gonna have.
They're
some
out of
steak.
tofu. You know that?
I don't doubt it.
Vegans are complaining because they are out of tofu.
It's
And I
crazy.
actually did when I went to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Well, I went to I went to supermarket on Saturday because I literally was out of everything, and they were out of tofu there, and they were out of tofu at the other supermarket too. Not that I was looking for tofu. I mean, I occasionally have tofu with my Asian things, but wasn't looking for it. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the store there, and I would. It's weird. Last night, I when we were talking, I kind of to me it almost looked like what you'd see on one of those old newsreels about stores in the old Eastern Bloc countries. You'd walk in
Yeah.
and there'd be like an empty shelf, but one can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of something right in the middle. And it kind of, and I know it's not as bad as that, but it kind of just reminded me of that because I'm so, you think of that not in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really surreal to walk through the store there. And bread is gone. Of course, TP is gone. All that fun stuff. But pretty much rice was gone. I mean, just tons of stuff.
And potatoes.
Right? Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Potatoes.
All gone.
So
Yeah.
I went to Trader Joe's on Saturday. That's where I like to go.
Mhm.
I'm a proud Trader Joe's customer. And definitely the bread area was pretty weak. I did get a loaf of bread, but it was kind of down to, it was pretty bleak. They did have a lot of tortillas though.
Really?
Yeah, flour tortillas. So I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know.
I think-
Tortillas can do in a pinch.
But they're like $2 for a pack of 12. The big ones, burrito size.
Yeah.
And they're healthy too. They don't have all that crap in it, the other ones do.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it was like I was surprised. It was like, hey, if I were doing a run on the store and getting stuff like, we may never come to the store again, dude, I'd be hoarding tortillas.
Right.
You put them in the refrigerator, they last forever.
Hey, there you go.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, burrito makes a good emergency meal.
It does.
Right?
You can't go wrong with that.
No. Yeah.
And it's a good substitute for bread, too.
Exactly. Well, it is bread. Kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
flatbread, yeah.
Same. Yeah. So I was kind of surprised about that. Yeah. So yeah, the bread.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad had said this. He went to the store and there were no potatoes, or he got a couple potatoes. And sure enough, at Trader Joe's, they have these big baked potatoes. You know, the big russet, you know.
The bakers, yeah.
Yeah. You like those. I like those.
Oh, yeah.
They're the bakers. Put them in for a baked potato. And they were all gone.
Oh,
But they had some gold potatoes.
Yukon Gold, yeah.
So I got some of those. You know, which is fine.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, but I mean, if I do partake in a baked potato, probably once every week or two, you know, or more. You know, it's good for you. Very
It's a
good for
staple.
you. Potatoes are very good for you. Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. Like at the stuff, you know, TP, potatoes, bread. I sort of get bread.
Sure.
Like
Maybe
if we're gonna
canned goods, you know.
it was, you know, they still had a lot of beans and stuff there. Again, pinto beans, black beans. I'm thinking, hey, white people, tortillas, cans of beans.
Yeah.
There's your emergency storage right there. There's your emergency food.
Yep.
And salsa too. They still have salsa.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
anyway, so yeah. Of course they were out of all the ramen.
Yeah. Yep. Totally out of ramen.
That makes sense. You know.
Yeah. Easy to prepare.
Yeah. But it just doesn't make sense why everyone ran on the stores. I mean, and so I'm talking to the checker at the Trader Joe's on Saturday, and she was like, I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. It wasn't too horribly busy. People were coming in. It was kind of at that time in the late afternoon. See, I always end up going to the store at the worst times anyway. Like on a Sunday night when everyone's done their Sunday shopping anyway. So it's like, oh, I ain't going to get anything, am I? You know, they're just going to be naturally out of things. So I was trying to be a little proactive, but she was like, oh yeah, Thursday, worst day we've ever seen. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, that was last Thursday. Like it was a madhouse in here. You know, I was like, wow. Now, to be fair, in Portland, we did kind of have a snow scare, which everyone goes crazy. So we had like snow and pandemic. I mean, you know, Portlanders were like this, ah, you know.
Right. You'll mix a little snowmageddon with a little apocalypse, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Which is worse?
Yeah.
I say in Portland, the snow. Or the threat of snow. Not just the snow, the threat of snow.
Yeah. Well, you know, I got to tell you, I was at the this weekend I spent at the coast there, and the coast woke up Saturday morning, clear, sunny. Everyone's talking about how it's snowing, you know, inland on the coast. It was totally sunny. It was nice.
Well, it snowed, but it didn't stick or anything. You know, it was like one of those.
Yeah.
Snow morning,
A light glazing.
snow lunch, you know, West Hills, you know, that sort of thing. You know, the typical.
Oh yeah.
The ones where we do close schools down.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the thing is what I was afraid is that people told you to social distance, and so you drove all the way out to the coast.
Yeah, but there was some. I took the distance part.
I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, social
Oh, yeah.
distancing, Jason, doesn't mean you have to drive 50 miles all the way out of town until you hit the ocean and go, well, I guess I can't go any further now, can I?
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Right. I took a runner.
Yeah. It's like, you can come back. It's okay. That's not what we meant by social distancing.
Well, I kind of felt as I was on special assignment, right? Somebody, a curmudgeon, we needed to get out there on the road, and we needed to see what's going on. And so I went out towards the coast and went down to Lincoln City because I wanted to see what's going on. It was all a science experiment.
How was it out there? Were people concerned? Tell us, Jason. See, I'll do that weird news reporter voice that we were talking about earlier. Tell us, Jason. Well, kind of like a Merv Albert thing. What were the people on the streets on the beach? Well, your ear was to the beach, to the shore. Once you cleaned out the sand out of your ear, what were you hearing from the people?
A lot of silence. There wasn't a whole lot of people there, which I dig anyway because
Oh yeah.
me and crowds don't mix.
So you brought your Simon and Garfunkel records?
Oh,
Sound.
I did Homeward Bound, and also we had it on Beatles radio. So
The sound of silence. Hello,
Right.
Jason, my old friend. Anyway.
it's the apocalypse again.
Oh, that's good. It's the
You know.
apocalypse again. Hello, Jason, my old friend. You don't have to go to the coast to social distance. Jason is taking this way too far.
That's right.
And the sounds of nothing in your head go to bed. It's the sounds of Jason.
That's right.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you very much.
Good.
Don't forget, folks, when you're out at the coast, get some hot yoga.
That's right.
Hello, this little soundboard. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're all going to die. Why not push buttons and make funny noises?
Do me a favor. After you say we're all going to die, get on the sound box there and say smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them. Yeah,
There
but
you
see,
go.
that's the whole thing. We were anti-smoking.
Right. Well, I mean, but if you're gonna croak anyway, I mean, hey, all bets are off at that point. Light her up.
Well, so I was going to say, you went out to the coast this weekend. You weren't the only person, like on Facebook, friends that I have on Facebook that were out at the coast this weekend. There were other
Nice.
people that I know were actually posting pictures from where you were at too, and it looked beautiful. Cold but nice and sunny.
Right. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and over the holidays, I hit the coast a couple times myself.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, it's always good. It's always good. Love, we got a good coast.
Right. But
good
I didn't
beach.
notice that many people though. It was pretty subdued from what I was expecting. The hotel we stayed into, it's a quasi hotel. It's more of a hotel / kind of property thing.
Timeshare? Did you stay in a
Well-
timeshare, Jason?
They're like condos almost.
Uh-huh.
And
They got a lot of those out there. They're pretty nice, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This one was right down on the beach. We were on the second floor, so I mean it's literally 75 feet from the surf. And,
Yeah. Around the second time, but around Thanksgiving, I went out there and I got this hotel. And that's the thing. You can get rooms, right? The rooms are available. Mm-hmm. And got this room, ground floor, right there. Open the window or open the drapes. There's the Pacific Ocean right there. Pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. And then we had to close the drapes really quickly because all the tourists were walking by and realizing I wasn't wearing any pants.
That's right.
Hey! Will you close the drapes, please? You're scaring the children and the pet dog.
That's when the TV guys are, hey, he is not wearing any pants.
Yeah. You know what I did, and I was thinking about this last night? They had a sauna there. And we went in the sauna. Did you do a sauna?
No, but the amenities were such as on my back balcony, there was a hot tub there.
Oh, wow.
My own private little hot tub where I could
That's nice.
Sit there and stare at the ocean while in the hot tub. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah. So I'm talking about Thanksgiving. Then went again, but to another place. But in Thanksgiving, there was a hot tub there, but it was like closed for the winter maintenance. They were fixing it, and it was like, oh, dang, man, want to go in the hot tub. But then it was like, but there's a sauna, and the sauna's working.
Ah.
And saunas kind of freak me out.
Yeah.
But you know, when you get in there and you get in the heat, and it's really cold in the winter, it feels good, especially like right now when people aren't feeling good. Now, I've read the reports. Just to be clear, let's just put some facts here. Sauna doesn't cure you of the virus or whatever, right? You know, all those fact checking and whatnot. But
That's right.
But, you know, it'll make you feel better when it's cold and whatnot. But I'm always like, times I ever go into a sauna, I always have scenes of a James Bond movie in my head. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's like you go in the sauna, you're all getting in there, and you're to turn the heat up, and then the bad guy puts the broomstick in the door, and then turns the heat up full way.
Right.
Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. And you're in there, James Bond, and you know it's like 200, 300, 400. And you're sweating. James isn't gonna get it out. Oh, luckily he brought his Rolex with the,
Yeah, with the diamond cutter, so you
diamond
cut
cutter
open the
saw,
little window,
cut himself
yeah.
out of there, right?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. You know, dun, 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 you know.
That's right.
I'm always think that every time I go into a sauna. I'm thinking, you know, someone, Blofeld or someone's going to lock the door, and then they're going to turn the heat up, and I can't get out. You know, what are my options? Moneypenny, what are my options here? You know?
Or in a sauna, it's always like rich old men with towels around them making shady deals.
Well, yeah, there's always the good
The
fellas.
mobsters, you know.
The
Right.
Goodfellas thing, right? You know, which
yeah.
which usually they go in the sauna, it's like just no one in there, right? Or just the person you're going in the sauna with, you know.
Sure.
So you know, yeah, you don't want to walk into the sauna at like Seaside, Oregon, and here's like 10 Goombas with their cigars and come sit next to Big Lou. Come sit to Uncle Lou. It's like I don't really want to.
Plenty of space. Plenty of space. Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah. Gambino's moving into Seaside. You know, it's like,
Right. What are you gonna do? Walk out? Forget about it. Grab a seat.
all right, Louie, you get Newport. Big Al gets your hots.
That's right.
And the Bambino
Luigi.
brothers, you guys split up Astoria between the two of you. You know,
Luigi, I've got a special place for you.
Yeah.
You're getting Manzanita.
yes, exactly. The Manzanita Beach Boys, they went in on this action, you know.
That's right.
They're hearing there's some real action in the halibut network. You know what I'm saying? They'll
Right.
trade you a quarter share of the Dungeness crab market for what's happening in the halibut market.
That's right. They want more Dungeness crab. They're gonna have to meet the vig.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never knew that seafood was so criminal. You
No,
know?
it's not just the seafood.
Yeah.
Uncle Don says he doesn't like what's happening. You guys have cornered up all the saltwater taffy.
That's right. I hear you've been trying to corner the market on the peanut brittle.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that.
I got a problem with your saltwater taffy. All right. You cut us into the California Jelly Bean market, and we'll give you a piece of the saltwater taffy.
Knickknacks, bric-a-brac. We need that.
We're going to call in the concierge to pull us together. What does Rome say?
Right.
What is
Tom Hayden
Palermo?
rolls in.
We got Palermo on the phone.
Right.
They own all the international export market of saltwater taffy.
It's some dangerous stuff, man. It's very stiff competition out there.
You don't get one piece of watermelon saltwater taffy out of this coastal town if Palermo doesn't say so.
That's right. Tillamook Schmillock. We will make this county dry. There you go.
That's what it is, though.
It is.
Yes, yes, and the boysenberry bootleggers. It's a very Oregon mafia story. I think I'm giving Jason ideas for a new.
Right, the watermelon wise guys. You know?
Yeah, just kind of like the whole big city. It's when they take all the big bosses.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI has come down on all the big bosses in Chicago, New York, Kansas City, you name it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miami. And they're all in witness protection programs, so they all move them out to like Seaside and Lincoln City and stuff. So,
right.
So they got some action, in the Oregon coast,
Yeah, Luca Brasi's working the hot dog stand down by the pier,
Yeah, they're having their secret commission meetings in the back of Bruce's Candy Kitchen in Cannon Beach. Man.
Right. Right.
Hey, you got the last pixie stick. I wanted that. Boys, there's no reason to fight over the pixie sticks here.
Let me tell you something.
How
Back
about
in my
peanut
day,
butter taffy? I know you like it.
those pixie sticks would knock you on your butt.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one. No, write that one down. That's a good one. That'll be a...
They've all been hiding out on the Oregon coast,
Yeah.
Yeah. But so what do they do though? I mean, think about it. If you're the Don of Lincoln City, I mean, you've got the casino there. I mean, they're on your turf, but it's all fed.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I mean,
so what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, they do. Yeah, they do have casinos and all that out there. So it could, could all of a sudden see Robert De Niro showing up and
Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci and what's her name? Was in that.
Casino?
Yeah.
What? Sharon Stone?
Sharon Stone. Thank you very much, Sharon Stone. Yeah. Yeah, she was in that. I just forget she was in it. Yeah, it would just be like that. And you know who else is in Casino? A guy I rather recently met in person.
Okay.
At a meetup. Joe Bob Briggs was in Casino. Do you remember
Really?
that? Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that part.
He was the cowboy guy. He was like the flunky.
Right.
That was Joe Bob. Yeah, it was wild because it was like, oh, that's right. Every time it's just like, that's right. Joe Bob Briggs has this bit part. Because every once in a while he'll offhand mention working with Martin Scorsese, and it's like, yeah, he was in Casino because he was the cowboy flunky Nevada and guy who worked for like De Niro or whatever, the pit bosses, and he was supposed to do all that stuff. So it's funny because if you ever watch the TV show, which is somewhere out there on DVD or whatever, actually it might be on Tubi TV. Tubi TV, man, got to check that out. I don't get paid by them, but it's free. They got a lot of good stuff up there.
Oh, yeah.
I think they have, or last time I looked, they had episodes of Crime Story. They have it's kind of based on the same story somewhat. There's a whole Las Vegas thing. And if you look at Casino and you look at Crime Story, when they do the Las Vegas arc of Crime Story, they have those characters. There is the kind of cowboy flunky guy who's actually played by Ted Levine.
Really?
Yeah, Jamie Gum from Silence of the Lambs, and and he's been in a lot of big movies. He's one of those character actor kind of guys who shows up in a lot of movies. He often plays like a general or a colonel or whatever, but a lot of people remember him if you think, well, remember Jamie Gum, Silence of the Lambs, She puts a lot of shit on her skin. The great Ted Levine.
That's right.
Great actor. But yeah, he plays kind of that character that Joe Bob Briggs is playing. When the mob is running the casino.
Right.
And in this case, you go to Bruce's Candy Kitchen. It's like, Louie, go get some more pixie sticks. The customer here will need some pixie sticks.
That's right.
What are you thinking?
I love it. Yeah, and you notice they're always smuggling in things in the bric-a-brac. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it would be like French Connection, right?
Right.
That Gene Hackman would have the limo up on the blocks, and then they start tearing into the limo, and like they're
Right.
into the floorboards, and it's all saltwater taffy. It's like, oh, we got him. You see this? You know?
Oh man, that's awesome. That's all black tar. No, that ain't black tar. That's chewy caramel.
Saltwater taffy from
right.
Cannon Beach.
More insidious than black tar.
Yeah, this is contraband. Saltwater taffy is pretty darn good.
Oh yeah.
Not only is it St. Patrick's Day today, is it seriously? Seriously, it is St. Patrick's Day?
It is 17th, yep.
God dang it. Not only is it St. Patrick's Day, there's a primary going on today.
Yeah, Illinois and
Florida?
Florida, yeah, and they've already been called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, there was a thing, oh God. We talk a lot of politics here. Yeah, there was a whole thing about the primaries and calling off the primaries and stuff, which is really weird because here's the thing. We're in Oregon.
Yeah.
We don't even think about this. Because why? We're like, what? The only state we mail in our ballots. Isn't it amazing? We're using technology that's 2 centuries old to vote. More than 2 centuries old.
Sure.
The public mail system. Not even email, not even text message. Actual, fill it out, put it in the mail. You can drop it off too.
Yeah.
If you don't like putting in the mail, you can drop it off.
But the one thing I don't like about the Oregon primary is it's always so late that it's pretty much been decided anyway.
Oh yeah. Somebody on my Facebook said, "Will it count?" And I said, "No."
Not at all.
Nope.
I mean, it's pretty much over now.
Oh man, look how quickly everyone dropped out. And the one that surprised me, the campaign that surprised me, and I'm still not sure why this is, and I'm sure people would go, well, it's because of this or that. Nah, still surprising me, was Elizabeth Warren. I was surprised that she came out early on and was doing pretty well.
Right.
And I really saw her as one of the front runners. Didn't you?
She was. At one point, she was the person to beat, but she had one really, really bad debate, and that's what cost her. I mean, and she knew the writing was on the walls when they had the Massachusetts and her home state, and she came in third.
Oh, okay.
And the writing's on the wall after that. Yeah.
Those debates are all BS, though. I actually did watch the last debate, which was, of course, now just Bernie and Biden,
right?
B&B. Come to Bernie and Biden's B&B out in Cannon Beach, Oregon. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna get free sheets.
Yes.
For
free
everybody.
health care when you stay at our B&B.
That's right.
And then Biden's like, I did not approve that. I did not approve free health care. You have free health care. No, Bernie, not free health care. Yes, free health care. You stay at the B&B, you break your leg, you get free health care. No, Bernie, I did not. Who's going to pay for it, Bernie? Who's going to pay for it?
Or, Biden's talking his Bidenisms, right?
Yeah.
He's like, come on, man.
Exactly. There's your next one, too.
That's a lot of malarkey.
The 2-hour play.
Yeah.
It's a character of Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. They retire from politics, and they partner and run a bed and breakfast in Cannon Beach. There you go. These are free, man. You come here for free ideas.
That's right.
Because God knows Hollywood has none.
No. Come to us. We'll give you some good plot points here.
We'll watch Saturday Night Live, and it's like, oh, okay. Of course, it would be set more like in Vermont or something, I guess. But
if it's us, that's going to be Oregon coast.
Right, but I actually watched that debate though. Or most of it, as much as I could watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's a debate on. Like I checked Twitter, and it was like debate live, and it's like, I literally, I looked at Twitter on my phone, and I went, oh, they're still having those?
Right, yeah.
Really?
I thought they postponed those.
Oh, they're still
No?
having those? Like, no, it was like, did we just decide that they're all BS and threw them out the window? Why have a debate? It's just people screaming and talking about their time, and the moderators are no good. Oh my gosh. God.
Yeah.
God. Where is Gwen Eiffel when we need her? You know?
No kidding.
You know?
Oh man. Or he was a
Tim Russert?
he worked for CNN a lot of years. Bernard. He was wonderful.
Yeah, that guy was good. Yeah. Yeah. All the greats
Yeah.
are gone. But anyway, yeah, it just and then so I turned it on. It just happened to be on. So I was like, well, okay, I'll check in on this. And the thing is there was no studio audience, no audience, just a debate. And you know what? Can't we just do them all like that, please? I don't want the people in there because because during these debates,
Yeah.
the candidates play to the audience in the room.
Oh, sure
It
they
doesn't
do.
help.
Yeah.
It's BS. You know,
Well,
it's like, "Ooh,
it
ooh."
started.
know?
It started crowd free. With Nixon and Kennedy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it should be that way. And it's like, well, but then the public doesn't get to participate and ask their questions and stuff. Yeah, I don't care. I don't want to hear their questions anyway.
Judging from the voting numbers, they're not participating anyway.
Ah!
Exactly.
But yeah, I actually liked it. I liked that it was just, in studio. I don't know. I think they were at a venue or whatever that they were going to have it. But
Right.
I liked it without the distraction of it, because I really do think that the energy in the room, the candidates and the news people,
Yeah.
the moderators feed off of that. And I would rather they were focused.
Right.
And it seemed like they were a little more focused on what they were doing.
Which they should be. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're going to be brutally honest about it, if you're trying to select who you want to be the head of your party for a presidential debate, I would rather have no crowds and a really deep grilling by the moderators.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easier without a crowd to get them to focus, right? Because the crowd's always and they're letting the politicians themselves ramble on and on and on and going over. Where if there's no crowd, you could just straight cut them off.
Oh, exactly. It's just can't stand that.
Right.
I really can't. I mean, it's just like the debates have become. I mean, the debates are supposed to be a really cool part of the democratic process, and they've just become
A sideshow.
just crappy. Sound bites, let's get in our sound bites. It's like, no, how about not? How about you debate? I don't know. So I actually did think this last one was better. I'd like to see him like that.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're going to be now. Two really
Right.
old guys.
Well, and in
Curmudgeons.
fact,
Look, they could do it here. You could do it right here on our. Look, I could change the graphic. I could
Okay.
put Joe and Bernie.
right.
Their heads can go in these boxes. We just have it
Yeah.
right here.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, man, that's it, man. Just live stream, get your OBS or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just stream it.
We can make this happen.
I know. Joe Biden tried to stream a thing, apparently a Q&A the other day. It didn't go well.
Uh-oh.
Call
Yeah.
the professionals, Joe.
Right.
I know. Forget about what happened earlier. That's our own fault. That's Skype's fault. But no. But we're just hanging out here. But seriously, it's a major campaign. I'm thinking they got some money in that campaign. Maybe not Bloomberg money, but money.
Sure.
It's like, yeah.
Solid pack money, sure.
No, I mean, like, you know, when some teenage Twitch gamer streamer can have a better quality stream than Joe Biden, you gotta, come on, Uncle
Right.
Joe. Get it together. It's not
Right.
Joe, though. You know, it's not Joe.
It's his campaign staff.
Yeah, it's his people. It's not Joe. You think Joe walks in and goes, well, I think maybe the bit rate's a little high on the streaming software, and
Yeah.
are you sure? No, Joe doesn't. He doesn't know that stuff. But you know, he's got staff, and they're paid. You can't tell me they're volunteers, and if they are,
Right.
Pay
He
'em.
gets what you pay for. Yeah.
yeah. But so you went to the coast. There was a debate. There's been a lot of stuff. All sports is shut down.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah.
and that's weird. So
Yeah.
that's-
Baseball sometime probably now in the middle of May. NFL draft will happen, but no public are allowed to be there.
Yeah, like all the news I've been seeing was NFL, and they're not even playing yet. But it's because they're
Right.
making trades and all that stuff right now.
Yeah, free agency.
Yeah, and of course the big news you sent this to me, of course, is Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So now is he going to another team?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What team is that?
Well,
We don't know yet.
Inside sources say it's pretty much down to two teams now. It's going to either be the Los Angeles Chargers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess Phillip Rivers, who was the quarterback of the Chargers there, I guess it's all but a done deal that he'll be playing for the Colts next year.
Okay.
And a little bit of local news, Mariota, Marcus, he signed with the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ah, Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. So now everyone's just waiting with bated breath to see where Tom Terrific is going to land. You
Yeah.
know?
How old is he?
He'll be 43.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, that's I thought he'd just retire.
I thought so too, but he evidently part of the reason why he's not retiring is he felt the last couple of years of New England, not Kraft. I guess him and Kraft have a wonderful relationship, but I guess him and old Bill Belichick have been rubbing each other the wrong way for the last couple of years, I guess. And
Really?
he wants to go play for another coach besides Belichick.
Why not just retire, dude?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to prove something. I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
And but I think Tom should have. I know this is going to sound bad, but
Yeah.
I wish he would have retired. For all their faults, New England has and had a pretty decent offensive line.
Right.
They could keep him out of trouble. He goes to the Raiders. The Raiders have a crappy offensive line. Or you go to Tampa Bay's even worse, and then the Chargers suck too. So I mean, he can't run to save his life, so he's going to get creamed.
Yeah.
You know, they're all going to be going after him. So I don't know.
Maybe he and Coach Belichick had a disagreement on the proper method to deflate footballs.
very, very possible. Yeah.
No, don't do it that way. No, we do it this way? No, do it this way.
Right.
Sorry, I was waiting to get that joke out.
Right. If you don't like it, you can just leave. Fine, Belichick, I will leave.
Yeah,
And I'll take my deflated balls with me, thank you.
to the Raiders. Yeah, it's just kind of
right.
weird. Because Gronkowski, he retired from NFL.
Yep.
Now he's going into like fighting or something.
You know, I don't know what's
No,
going on.
there was something about it. Like he's going to do some fighting or
MMA?
something. Yeah, something like that.
Really?
I'll look
I
it
gotta
up.
look into that.
Yeah, it was in the let me Rob Gronkowski. Let's see. WWE.
Is he really?
Yep. WWE SmackDown debut date revealed. Let's see what that
Yeah.
says. Better mute it here. According to Wrestling Observer newsletter, we're talking sports here, folks. The former New England Patriot, don't worry, it won't last long. There's nothing to talk about in sports. The former New England Patriots tight end will take part in multiple matches as part of his newly signed WWE deal, which will scheduled to take place in Boston on August 23rd. Maybe that will be postponed. Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Dude, I'm telling you this for. Oh yeah, I saw that. WWE, man.
Yeah, when it comes to WWE, I'm pretty much out of the loop on that.
Yeah, but I figured you'd follow it because he was football.
Yeah, I was waiting for the draft and free agency to start this last few weeks. I've been just kind of taking it easy and not really paying much attention to the NFL because it's kind of their dead time.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been all the headlines because nothing else has been going on. So everything else is postponed or canceled or whatever. Right. I mean, that is the one thing that, like for me, like sports, you know, I'm probably not as big of a fan as you are or most people, but I would say right now is a big sporting time where I'm really interested in sports. You got big international playoffs and stuff happening, like Champions League and Premier League, and the big European leagues are all kind of ending their season. You have the NBA, which is ending their season, going into their playoffs. You have March Madness. I mean, I like basketball. I like soccer. So obviously right now is a prime sport. I mean, you know, for soccer, like American soccer, like MLS, it's in the summer, but you know, and like,
Timbers,
it's all shut down.
Did start. Yeah.
Yeah. They did. Like 2 weeks ago?
Something like that, yeah. So this is the time where actually everything is starting to pick up. You know, opening day in baseball.
Right.
You got the NC March Madness. You got NBA. It's even NHL's now, you know.
Yeah.
And it's,
and it just is all shut down, which is just, that's weird. That's and you know, even college sports, let's be honest, the kind of money that's being lost right now is just unprecedented. Yeah. Like I scanned a couple articles about how much money the NCAA is losing. Big money.
Yeah, I saw that. I think
March Madness brings in
what, $400 million?
Yeah, it's like $500 million.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like all total. Jeez.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's all canceled, right?
Yeah.
Like canceled. Like not even postponed.
Yep.
I had to look that up the other day because again, last week I was busy with some personal things going on. And then we were trying to do a show earlier last week, and I was actually reading up on that because I wanted to talk about it. And it was like, wait a minute, they canceled it? It's like canceled.
Right.
And for, like you say, locally, there's some real impact there.
Oh, sure.
Especially U of O.
Yep.
On especially both women and men, U of O are tearing it up, you know?
Yep.
And so that's really sad that, you know,
and the women's team,
what's her last name? Ionescu, thank you.
Yeah, she's senior. This is her last run, and what a way for it to end.
I know, really sad because she's broken all these college records.
Yep.
You know, and then you have, and the men were they 2 or did they make? No, I think they made it to 1 in Pac-12, didn't they?
Yeah. They beat Stanford to take the title. So they had an automatic berth anyways. And after last year's, everyone was expecting Oregon again to maybe get to, the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And
they were looking really good. I caught a few of the Pac-12 games there, and boy, you know, and they got that Pritchard, and he's been racking up some stats himself, right? Too. So I mean.
And the most heartbreaking of all, right? If you're into local sports, after I believe it was a 27-year drought, the University of Portland
Yes.
was going to go into the 64.
You know what? I saw that. I just read that one too.
Yeah, and
Just
now
like a few days ago, the Vikings.
or the Pilots.
Oh no! Oh, was it UP?
Yep,
Or
UP.
Portland State?
No, UP.
I thought it was the Vikings.
No, it's Portland Pilots.
Oh, well, that is the U of P.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. They are a Big Sky Conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
How'd you like to be a player for there, like a senior, right? You bust your buns all year.
Yeah.
You break the 27-year drought. Things are looking great for you, and then the rug gets pulled right out from under you.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's one thing. Look, you're a multimillionaire. You're in the NBA. You're in the NFL. Whatever. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it sucks. You don't get to do your job. You know what? You got money. You'll get. It's okay. You should be okay. And maybe
Right.
some aren't, but there's not an excuse. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, these college kids who are breaking records and working that hard, and then that's how your season ends. It's like, sorry, can't go to the big dance. Especially, like you say, with the U of O, with the women and the men's.
Oh yeah.
It's like, boy,
It's tragedy.
they were just like, we're going. This is going to be the big time. This is
Yeah.
I think it was the U of O. Did you see this thing? Canzano wrote a story about it.
No, I didn't.
They
didn't
went-
see it.
Was it Arizona? They went down to play a game, and of course it got canceled. It got postponed and then canceled. It was like right on the cusp of like last week, where stuff was like, okay, we're making a
Right.
call. We just got a call down. We're not playing this game. Everyone goes home. And so one of the assistant coaches got married in the stadium with the players and everything there. It was a heartwarming story, Jason.
Right. Right.
Anyway, but so they tried to make the best of it. He and his fiancée, they were going to get married, so they just made some calls and stuff. And so right there, instead of playing the game, right there on the court, they got married. And of course, all the players were there. The best men were the players. It was just, all right,
Yeah.
human interest. But yeah, for those college players, wow.
Yeah, what a way to wrap up your college career. I mean, for 99% of them, I mean, this is their last game of ever playing competitive
Yeah.
sports. And what a way for it to end,
What about their academic career too? Like, stay home, you can't go to class. Maybe you're doing stuff online. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff up in the air about that. Yeah, and then professionally, and again, he's a professional, so it's a little different. But remember, Nurkic was coming back last week,
That's right.
being out his big game, and that was the
Not so fast, Nurk.
not so fast, Nurk. He had set the date. They had to set the date for his debut back in the court after horribly breaking his leg last year.
Yeah.
And I know he and, all Blazer fans have been waiting, oh, Nurk,
Yep.
we can't wait to get you back. Not going to happen.
No, not
It's,
this year.
it's really weird out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to transition here.
Okay.
There's more to talk about. But I'm gonna actually. We're usually a little funnier than this. Maybe it's just because we're Skyping, right? We're doing our social distancing. I thought he never was going to come back from the coast, actually.
I was tempted,
Yeah.
especially after on Sunday night.
If they would have reported that you need to do more social distancing, you would have just been out there in a rowboat your wife would have been like, Jason, what are you doing? I'm out in the road. They said social distance. Don't come near me.
That's right. I hitched a ride on the fishing trawler.
Exactly.
Somewhere, you know.
I can't be near anyone.
That's right.
Okay, I'm going to ask you an actually serious question.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. Which is odd. A lot of odd things with this. I mean, we're doing it on a Tuesday anyway, which is unusual, but why not? Let's talk.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you think we are, I was going to say it, we are overreacting?
Good call.
Your opinion. I mean, you're not an expert. You're not a doctor. Right. We're just two guys sitting here talking. I'm just asking you, I'm curious because I am genuinely curious. And I haven't asked anyone this question. Do you think we're overreacting?
Right. The views of Jason Allen are solely his and do not necessarily reflect NuzBox or any other entities. Okay.
And also, Jason Allen, this part of Jason Allen's opinion piece is brought to you by Hot Yoga.
That's right.
Ask for it by name.
That's right. We could do a little 30-second spot. You know, I was feeling kind of down. You know, I was feeling maybe some sniffles. I wasn't feeling too good. I was getting a little scared. But then one of my friends told me I need to do some
hot yoga.
And that's when I learned the downward dog. But, no.
Okay, so seriously, do you think we're overreacting?
Well, you know, when it first started, I thought, yeah, maybe it's going, you know, people are getting a little too worked up about it. And I think the hoarding part, it could be a little bit scaled back. Come on, folks. But I can understand, now after really looking at it, I can understand why such extreme measures are being taken. Because at this point, they're just trying to mitigate any further spikes. Mm-hmm. And I also think because we got into the game much too late, mm-hmm. to that they're having to do some really drastic, you know, draconian level, you know, sort of measures. You know, my honest answer to you is I don't know. This is such uncharted water mm-hmm. that we all seem to be swimming in, and you see things like Italy where it's pretty bad there, and you wonder, well, okay, that's, you know, it could get, you know, and the CDC, some of their numbers aren't great. You know, over 1 million deaths. Mnuchin today, Commerce came out and basically said we are fully expecting 20% unemployment.
Well, yeah.
You know, so you get the financial fallout from.
Actually, that headline is staring pandemic. Me right in the face.
Yeah.
When I look down at the laptop, Mnuchin warns senators lack of action could result in 20% unemployment rate. Source says.
Yeah. They're talking now a $1 trillion stimulus.
Mm-hmm. You said 1 million deaths. I wanted to just clarify that because there hasn't been 1 million deaths of this thing yet whatsoever.
No. It was that was a projection, sort of their worst case scenario, so to speak. And
that one I have a problem with. I have, you know, when this thing was kind of ramping up a week or two ago, I saw friends on Facebook mm-hmm. putting things like that out there on Facebook, and I was kind of like, you know, how many 1 million's a lot of dead people, and then, you know, you look back at the numbers, flu.
Spanish flu, 1918, yeah.
But then you look at like the yearly flu, like the flu that happens every single year,
right?
You know, and compare and that's where I thought, and I still wonder if there's a little too much speculation going on in that area. I have a hard time believing that many people are going to die. I really do. And even that's even based on the numbers that we've seen, you know,
Sure.
percentage-wise and stuff. It's still, and then if you compare it to the flu, you know, which does actually take comparatively a lot of lives
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah, it's hard in that aspect to really judge, but you know, I can only go by, you know, like the CDC numbers and their rate of what was there, 80%, you know, people will be fine. Another 20% they're going to have some problems with that, and then within that you got to factor in major sickness versus the extreme, you know, death, right? And so.
Or yeah, you got it. You have some symptoms or some minor symptoms or,
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's the other part that somewhat seems to get played down with the headlines a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, there's people with it who are getting tested and sick, you know, and it's like these celebrities, some of them are like, yeah, apparently I've got it. I'm feeling okay. You know,
Right.
I'm doing fine, you know.
Yeah, I would say the scariest thing about all of this is just the unknown. Because I mean, the closest thing we have to compare it with, of course, and it's a poor comparison because it's totally different, is the Spanish influenza of 1918. And folks, if you think you are nervous now and you think this coronavirus is the be-all and end-all of pathogens, go on to the internet and type in Spanish influenza 1918 and look at the death rate of that. That will scare the bejesus out of you.
You know, and that was like, that's where I kind of drew the line, where one of my friends was posting all this stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, dude, I wanted to just tell him to stop, but
but
there's no joy. There's no joy to telling someone at Facebook, because you'll just get in an argument.
Yeah.
But I did post an article from, I think it was the New York Times, because I was saying, and they actually did an article why this is not like the Spanish flu.
Exactly.
And there's just so many factors. You're talking a little over 100 years ago.
Right.
From today. Okay. We didn't have vaccines.
Thank you. Yeah.
Number one, no vaccines. Yeah. Okay. And of course people will say, well, we don't have a vaccine for this, right? This is that's part of the component that has made people take this seriously, is unlike the flu, we don't have a preventative vaccine yet. Okay.
Yet. Yeah.
But keep in mind, and I'm not trying to go anti-vaccine or anything. I am not anti-vaccine. But keep in mind that some years when we have a flu vaccine, it is ineffective to what is out there in the world of flu. They make decisions on what to vaccinate for. And not all the time, but sometimes you can have a flu season where it's like, oh, crap. See this strain right here?
Yeah.
That's the flu this year, and everyone's getting it. And the vaccine was not formulated or ineffective for that strain of the flu.
Right.
So that does happen. We also have drugs.
Right.
Lots of really effective, good drugs.
Well, and that's see, that's
Sorry,
why
I had to sneeze there.
Well, that's why I think it's such a in the end it's a very poor comparison, because you're right. 102 years ago, technology was totally different. Our healthcare system was totally different, and it would be hard to. But that I guess that what part of what makes people so scared of it is just the unknown.
No matter what criticisms you'll have about our healthcare system today, which is systemic and financial and all of that, the actual healthcare system, the actual technology of the healthcare system today is unprecedented. It's the best it's ever been. In fact, I thought of this comparison. I thought, well, if you want to compare to the Spanish flu 100 years ago to today and what we're doing today, you could take, you could almost make the analogy, the comparison, and say, well, it's like if you compared today, right now in 2020, to Dr. Leonard McCoy on the Starship Enterprise.
Right, yeah.
And the medicine there, almost. I mean, probably not quite, but, like into the future. Like what will healthcare be like 100 years from now, from 2020? That's kind of what we're talking about.
Right.
Medical treatment, I mean, all of the bad diseases people were getting and dying, polio, measles,
Heck, back
all
in
that
the
stuff.
80s, AIDS,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about 100 years ago, comparing it
Sure.
to 1918.
Sure.
There's nothing, We eradicated, since then, through vaccines, actually, polio, measles,
Tuberculosis.
chicken pox. Well, they all still crop up now and then, and partially it's somewhat due to people not having vaccines.
Right.
And other factors, but we know how to fix those. And even then, like I was in the hospital last week. Again, I wasn't in the hospital. I was there because someone else was. And seeing the kind of things that are going on in the hospital, like really things where it's like, well, 100 years ago, this person would just be dead.
Right.
And you go in there and the doctor's like, yeah, it'll be fine. We're going to do this and this and this. It's like, wow, well, 100 years ago, this person would just be dead.
Yeah, 100 years ago, it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
But
And it amazes me, the survivability. And again, the healthcare system, the problem, and we do have a big problem with healthcare. It's all around social, financial, and all of that stuff. That's what's broken. The actual healthcare professionals, the knowledge, now they've got computers and internet. Oh, everything about surgery now is back in the old days, take a knife, rip that thing apart, rip in there and do it. No. We don't do that anymore. We take our microscopic, stuff and our imagers and stuff and go, we're not going to cut a big hole in you because that's dangerous.
yeah, I mean, back in the day, remember they called it exploratory surgery, where they would just rip you open and dig around until they either found something or didn't.
Yeah. What is this, the Middle Ages?
Right, Dr. McCoy. It's just barbaric,
Why did you just rip it? That man gave me a pill and now I grew a new kidney.
That's right. Well,
I'm cured. That's from the movie Star Trek IV, Voyage Home. Great scene. Great scene, too. The hospital scene is great.
Oh, yeah. Where they're all in the elevator and they're talking about some brain sort of procedure. Good God, man!
Yeah.
What is this, the Spanish Inquisition?
Yeah, it was the scene that was specifically set up for the character of Bones McCoy. Like, it was like actually in that movie, it's kind of the comedy Star Trek movie, really. But what's really cute about that movie is these characters, which you love, if you're a Star Trek fan, each scene and bit is set up for one member of the crew that we love. So you have the Scotty scene with the transparent aluminum and the computer, where he sits down and when that movie was made, it was the classic Macintosh, and he picks up the mouse and he puts the mouse and he goes, computer, and the guy's like going, use the keyboard. He's like, oh, how quaint. He puts it down and starts typing. Of course, now, what are we doing now? Talking to the computer. We're doing that now in 2020, since that movie was made. And you have Bones McCoy rescuing Chekhov from the hospital. So he's got a bunch of good stuff. And then you've got Spock diving in the pool and mind melding with the whales.
Isn't that great?
And he's a hippie.
Yeah, he's
And
got
on
the
the bus.
headband around.
Oh, on the bus. With the kid with the... Who, actually, I believe the kid who's on the bus listening to the loud punk music was Gene Roddenberry's son.
Really?
I think that's Rod Roddenberry, I believe.
Nice.
I think so, if I recall. Because he's listening to loud punk and everyone's like disturbing. So finally Spock goes over and does the pinch, knocks him out, turns off the loud punk music.
Everyone starts clapping.
Yeah. A great movie.
And then Kirk tells the lady that Spock, that headband, he's a hippie.
Yeah. No, he literally says, too much LDS in the 60s.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a great line. Great comedy line. Yeah, he had too much LDS. And the lady looks at him like, LDS? What?
Smoking too much of that LDS.
Yeah. Yeah, too much Book of Mormon.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, this is good, But every scene is set up for the crew members.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chekhov, it's like, we're looking for the nuclear vessels.
Vessels.
In his Russian accent.
Vessels. Yeah.
And that was still before the end of that was still 80s. That was still before
Cold War, yeah.
Yeah, still during the Cold War too. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but comparatively, if you look at 1918, we're talking about Spanish flu, and there was other. It's not just the Spanish flu. There was other diseases and stuff. People forget polio.
Right.
Oh my God. I remember growing up when I was really young, and like my grandma telling me about polio, and it was like, kids would get polio, and they were crippled for life.
Yep.
And it was bad. And it was I don't know what the percentages were. You might know, but it was pretty much like, as you're a little kid. I mean, you had all these diseases like that you could catch as a little kid, and it's like, oh yeah, I could just die, and you're a little kid. I mean, you can still get nasty things today, but I'm just saying.
Right. Well, also remember the big scare back then. What they called consumption, is later on in the 20th century is of course reclassified as tuberculosis.
Oh yeah.
And that was
Doc Holliday.
Yeah. A lot of people that send them to sanitariums,
Yeah.
or go dry out in Arizona or whatever.
Sanitariums. Oh yeah. Lunger.
Yeah.
He's a lunger.
Lunger, you're right.
That's what they called it, right?
Yep, a lunger, yeah.
A lunger from Pasadena.
That's right.
Coming out west. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, the other thing is, what did you treat all these diseases with? What was the number one thing you treated all these consumption?
Oh, we gotta bleed them. Let's get the leeches.
Well, okay. That's true. You would bleed them and get the leeches. I was thinking something else a little less invasive.
Oh, okay.
But it was always the number one treatment. It was always like Dr. Jack Daniels or Dr. Jim Beam. It was always the liquor.
Uh-huh.
It was like, oh, you're not feeling good? Here, drink this. Drink this Jack Daniels. You'll feel better. Okay.
They'll put hair in your chest.
Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling better already. May I have another, please? Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's not comparable.
No, it's not. But I think that's what scares people the most is just the unknown. And you go to the experts and the people who you want some either comforting thoughts or just to know the road ahead. And when you hear those people say, "I don't know," it's not a pleasant experience.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So my feeling is we have all this modern medicine, which is not really. It's miraculous in, in its historic comparison. Okay.
Sure.
But it's based in pure science and research and what we've learned in 100 years.
Right.
And the fact, by the way, if you notice, like right now, well, they're testing some vaccines, because of genetic research. And I remember it was, 20 years ago, 25, 30 maybe? So remember the first time they sequenced the entire genome?
Right, yeah.
Wasn't that long ago. And
That
once
was
you
seen
do
as-
that,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, now we've got the code. Now we can look at the source code and figure out what's going on.
Yep.
And of course, that's, viruses run on the source code. Viruses are the source code. They are genetic material that gets in your body and then messes with it. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to discuss now. I did go back to, I always go back to my grandma on this stuff because I learned so much from her. And again, a person who lived through, like, if you took her entire life and the things she lived through,
Right.
it just doesn't compare. Doesn't compare to my life. Or it's like, oh, this happened, that was bad. This happened, that was bad. No. But she lived through all this really, really bad stuff, and somehow survived. Was a pleasant person. Had a great sense of humor. She had a fantastic sense of humor. She loved jokes and stuff. I mean, it was like she liked to laugh. And you think after you've been through all this stuff, it's like, boy, laughter must not... No. Laughter is very good for you. You need to laugh through this, right? And and so I look at it, and I'm always... It always seems worser.
Worser.
It always seems, bad in the beginning, and then when everything's said and done, it sort of works out in the end, works out better. And again, we're sitting on the fact that we have the best technology, the best knowledge that we've ever had in the history of human beings.
Right.
And that's, what we're going to face to solve this problem.
Right.
And also, by the way, here's the other thing that it's like all I see is doom and gloom on Facebook and people freaking out. And it's not, it's like that from that TV show, that miniseries Chernobyl.
Right.
What was that line that came out of it, the meme? It's like, not too bad, not great either,
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the understatement because he's talking about nuclear stuff. Nuclear stuff is bad, folks, by the way. That one's a toughie. Thank God this isn't a nuclear thing. Just be... virus, people are like freaked out about a virus. Sure, they can be scary. There's nasty stuff out there. But comparatively, there's always something worse. And I'm always like, oh, believe me, I can think of worse. But what I was going to say is, think about it this way. How many millions of years have human beings evolved on this earth? From hominids and all that. And, how long have we been here? Homo sapiens, this version of human beings.
Right.
We've seen a lot of viruses and a lot of disease. We've still survived to today. And we've used our brains to make solutions to these problems, which has helped us survive even more. We've never been in a place in history of the world where there's been this many people. We have more human beings in this world than ever in all of human history, which tells us that we're doing something right successfully, you know. We could wipe ourselves out with nuclear weapons or the environment. But we shouldn't do that. But little viruses and biology and stuff like that, we're pretty much mastering that. Even if something like this bad shows up, we're going to be fine. Humanity's going to be fine. I'm certain of it. I'm more concerned with some of the man-made things that we could, you know, suicide ourselves as a species.
Right.
I take another drink here. I got a little cough. Yeah, hey. But I'm
hence
here.
the quarantine show.
But I'm here,
right.
man. You know, I'm
right.
fine. I'm surviving. So I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, this is an especially nasty bug. But, gosh, humanity's been around for a long time, seen its share of nasty bugs, you know.
Well, bubonic plague.
Yeah. Which is still around, by the way.
It is.
It does crop up.
Every once in a while.
You know, and I don't want to get too into it because it's kind of morbid, but you did mention the 80s. You know, and the HIV/AIDS crisis is still around. People still have that, but people are living and surviving. And, you know, I knew people who died back then.
Yeah.
Friends who flat out died of that. And that was rough because those weren't people who weren't old or anything, you know. It was young people, you know, people, you know, what is not a lot to say about that. It just it happened. And you know, and at that time, you know, and I was younger, you were like, what are we going to do about this? This is horrible. We've got to do something. And, you know, there's cases where the resources and people didn't take it seriously.
No.
And that was the problem until finally the government said, okay, you need to take this seriously. And once that happened, and the focus was there, guess what? We came up with things to counteract it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that there's necessarily a cure or anything, but there's definitely ways to... And
kind
even
of freeze it in place.
Yeah, I mean, you know... Yeah, and maybe that's kind of relevant to what we're doing now. I don't know, but there are some cases where, yes, you actually contract something, and you're going to have that something, but the question is, can you survive with it and have a normal lifestyle with that? And that's not a cure. It doesn't get rid of it, but that's also a very valid way to mitigate something biological.
Right.
You know, just it's all about quality of life. You know, if you can carry on and be like, yeah, I'm fine, you know. I mean, I think a lot of people have those sorts of things in their life, you know, so.
Sure.
You know, and FDR, man, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, my grandma, you know, it was like one of her greatest heroes in her life was FDR. And her generation, those old people, man, he was like a hero president. And he was the guy who was president in all that stuff, in the Depression, in the wars. I mean, the Depression was really bad.
Well, right. And remember, he met that head on with, you know, iconic phrases, you know, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Right.
And folks, when he gave that speech, he wasn't talking about the Second World War. He was talking about the Great Depression.
The Great Depression, which was the Great Depression.
Yeah.
A global economic depression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing is here's a guy who had, or did you say had polio? I think you had polio, right?
Right.
Did you get the polio? You get the effects of polio, crippled. You, right. You know, so I mean, he was in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he was, spry and...
The picture of health.
Yeah. I mean, he had a lot of health problems.
Mm-hmm.
And, I worry, I think... I don't know about you. I'll get your opinion on this. I'll give mine. I'm a little less worried about the actual virus than I am the fallout after it, which is now, kind of what we're doing and what we're seeing happening.
Yeah.
I guess I'm somewhat of an optimist in this regard. Like,
yeah,
we're going to take care
too.
of this. I mean, there was a point in time where humanity faced diseases where we didn't know what a disease was.
Right.
It was like, oh, we better go pray to the idol, We know what these things are. Half the battle of solving a problem is knowing what the problem is.
Sure.
Right? It's like looking at it and going, oh, there's your problem right there. All right, what can we do about that?
Right.
We'll put a stick and a shim in there, then start the engine this way, and you'll be going, That's
Right.
my way of solving problems.
Right. But yeah, gone are the days of, this must be the wrath of God.
Yeah.
We must have done something wrong.
But I swear that there's still people out there in the 21st century that have that, maybe not directly, some do have that direct mentality, but some of them kind of exhibit that behavior. It's like, whoa, time out. We're supposed to be going on our trip to eventually Captain Kirk, Bones, Spock, out there traveling the universe. Everything's great. Get my chicken soup out of the replicator.
Right. No, I completely agree. And in fact, I was talking to someone over the weekend here, and I said, I feel kind of cheated out of stuff. And he said, explain. And I said, listen, I was promised the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't the Jetsons, man. You look at the cool sci-fi stuff. You're right. The replicators, the warp speed.
Yeah.
It's just the advancement in healthcare and
you weren't. In all practical, you were not cheated out of that future. You are living it right now.
Yeah.
No, you are. Warp
but I
drive.
want the Jetsons, man.
Yeah, but like the warp drive, that wasn't going to happen in your lifetime.
No.
If you into physics. Same with the transporter. We don't even know if we ever really want to do that in the first place. Look up all the philosophical conundrums about the transporter. Yeah. There are actual philosophical academic papers written about the transporter on Star Trek.
Sure.
But the computers, all the technology, all the the internet and all of that stuff, and the part of the reason is all of that stuff like the internet and the computing technology. A lot of the engineers and pioneers of engineers who were behind that technology, guess what they were? Star Trek fans.
Right.
You got to wonder why, like, the old computer people and stuff, even people like me, we're all like grew up as, I used to watch Star Trek, man. So you kind of applied. It's like, I kind of want that. I want a pad that I can take around and look up stuff and whatnot. So,
right.
And same with the medicine stuff. When I do, like, I really don't like to go to the hospital. And again, that's my grandma's thing in me. Have an apple. It'll keep you out of the hospital. She was, she was like, apple a day keeps the doctor away. She had, was an old lady with all of those, right?
An ounce of prevention is,
But I do, when I do on occasion have to go in the hospital, especially if it's like a, the big, the ICU or whatever it is. I do look over the technology. I'm like, oh, what have they got there now? And it's very Star Trek now. I mean, they got like machines and computers hooked up, monitoring everything, So all that's gonna help,
Sure.
Yeah, now. I'm more concerned right now about the economic fallout.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that seems to be the byproduct that can come back and have more long-reaching effects than the virus itself.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that? Are you more worried about the virus or what are you worried about the most in all this?
Well, I always like to. I'm a weird dude in the fact that I like to compartmentalize stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, one thing always affects another. It's never just the one thing that is truly horrible. It's the many factors that play off each other to make
Well, that's not weird. That's
that's
academic, really.
Right. Yeah, and financially, I think we are and that to me is scary. We are in a very precarious position right now. They've had to hit the halt button a couple times now on the stock exchange simply because it went into free fall.
Right.
The proposed $1 trillion stimulus, and the line from Mnuchin, we could have 20% unemployment. I mean, that's
scary.
That's depression numbers right there.
That is depression numbers.
And that's what bothers me, because if you are going into a deep trench of financial difficulties and you have to worry about this virus, how are you going to live?
Yeah. You know what we're missing?
What's up?
We need one more element.
Okay.
We just need an archduke in an open car in a parade somewhere in Austria. Was it Austria, Vienna?
It was in Sarajevo.
Oh, Sarajevo, of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, that's I'm not always right. I like to be corrected. Sarajevo. Very nice. World War I for 200, Jason.
Right.
What is Sarajevo?
Right.
Yeah, that's considered the shot heard around the world for World War I, right?
Right. And
assassination of Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah. And in fact, I was doing some digging, and I was listening to various podcasts and reading. Of course, that got me interested in books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And quick, if you want a nice, cool, quick trivia question, and you want to impress your friends, and people like, oh wow, if you ever get into a discussion about who was the most important person of the 20th century, I've actually got the answer for you.
Wow.
After much digging, yeah.
Who? Wait a minute. Who?
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Who was the most important person of the 20th century?
A young man by the name of Gavrilo Princip. He is the most important man of the 20th century.
Survey says Gavrilo Princip.
That's right.
Wow.
Because it all stems from him. He is the man that shot the Archduke Ferdinand.
Okay. He was an anarchist, right?
He was the anarchist, yeah. And even the story of how it went down is just so out there that his history is really idiosyncratic. Without Gavrilo Princip's pistol shots, there is no World War I. There is no even possibly no Bolshevik Revolution in the Soviet Union. Without
this is a Star Trek. This is an original Star Trek episode just waiting to be written.
It is.
Damn it, Jim! If he doesn't assassinate the Archduke, our history will be wiped out. There won't be any Starfleet or Federation.
That's right. No World War I. No Adolf Hitler.
So, City on the Edge of Tomorrow, Part 2.
exactly, right? No Kennedy assassination. So I mean,
Edith Keeler has to die for.
No Vietnam. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just so interesting from just that one, the butterfly effect, right?
Yeah.
Just from that one instant, changed the course of a whole century.
And of course, that's an incredibly popular genre now in now in TV.
Mm-hmm.
But in books before that, these alternate histories of what if
actually. I love those.
Yeah, I know. You said you really, was it what's the name of that TV show? I still haven't seen it.
There was a Time, what was that called?
Oh, the Time Detective one that you were watching.
Yeah.
But there's also the Man on the High Castle, right?
I love that. Yeah, Man in High Castle.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's an alternate.
It is.
That was based on Philip Dick.
It is. Uh-huh.
Yeah, who was
and I'll
really
be
great
honest with
writer
you,
with all that.
the TV show is far better than book.
Oh wow!
It's one of those rare instances that
wow.
It is truly a better product than the book was.
Oh, wow.
But I'm a sucker. You know, I'm a historic. I'm a
was
history
that one on
guy.
Amazon?
It is Amazon Prime.
See, that's why those ones that you were watching. That's why I haven't been watching because I don't have Amazon.
Right. Yeah.
And there's that show that I have a reason to get it, which was the season of The Expanse, which I told you have the Amazon. You got to start watching The Expanse. If you, I think somebody said the first couple episodes start out a little slow. I say, yeah, probably the first episode or so. You're like, oh, okay, trying to get into it. But once you do get into it and go down their rabbit hole of their universe, you actually really have to watch it because it's sci-fi, but it's very political. Lots of politics. I mean, the whole world is based on future politics and what's going on with that, including the sci-fi things and fantastical sci-fi things that happen. But it's all based on what are the politics on Earth, what are the politics on Mars, what are the politics out in the asteroid belt. You know, you would really, really like it. I still recommend you got the Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
When you know, at some point you got to start watching that. And those are based on books.
Okay.
Also,
it's so tough because there is just so much stuff out there to watch.
But that's one that comes highly recommended.
Okay.
Like it's definitely like you won't be sorry you watched it. And the first season, one of the main characters is a gumshoe. He's a detective.
Ah.
So it's got that element too.
Yeah.
Kind of that, but so you'll dig that. So yeah, no, it's I would be highly surprised if you came away watching even just the first season of that and came away and said, "Oh, I didn't like it. I thought it sucked." No. And especially, and then the second season delves way more into the politics.
Gotcha.
Of the future, and it's very cool, and it's very like a good sci-fi because it's set in our near future, like 150, 200 years into the future of Earth, right? It's very, like when they lay it out, you're like, okay, I could see that. You know, it's one of those sci-fi future and the politics where it's like, no, that's reasonable. That kind of what they're talking, especially what happens on Earth politically. It's very reasonable, and it's very, it's actually kind of the politics of Earth in The Expanse are kind of relevant to some of, like when you see like Andrew Yang and those kind of political and sort of like, what is our economic future? What should we do?
Right.
You know, should we have the same system? Should we give people $100 a month? You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's in The Expanse. They kind of play that out to the future.
Okay.
Yeah, you dig it. You dig that.
Yeah.
In fact, the new season's out, which I haven't watched yet, and Amazon bought it. You know, it got canceled from cable because it was on cable. They bought it to do the season because it's just one of those shows that had a kind of like Star Trek. It has a popular cult following. You know,
Sure.
Most people who like sci-fi like The Expanse. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's. I haven't heard anything bad about it, which is why I ended up binge watching it. Finally, I got access to it and binge watched it. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And apparently the books are really good because it's all based on books. But they try to follow the books. But oh man,
Excellent. Yeah.
yeah, I think you'd really dig it. Because again, it kind of extrapolates kind of all the stuff we're talking about, you know?
Right.
History, society, that sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Like how you're unraveling right now about, you know, this one guy who shot the Archduke,
Yeah.
which unfolded World War One and
Right. Which created World War
War
II,
II,
which created
yes.
the Cold War, which created this
yeah,
this whole wave.
Vietnam,
Yeah.
and which by the way created the jet age and the rocket age.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
That's right.
that's one thing. And there's a lot of books about that. You know, people are like, oh, you know, these things happen bad in history. Yeah, they do. But one thing, sadly, and you know, I can see why people don't like to study history because you got to take the good with the bad. You just do.
Yep.
Just is
Yep.
what it is. But if you look at like war, which sucks. I hate war. No war. War's bad. But historically, war is the one thing that kind of advances technology. Like huge advancements in technology happen in and around, during and after wars. Like
Right.
like and World War II is a fantastic example of that. You know, horrible war, horrible things happen, but the advancement in technology that came out of that, you know, like someone said, you know, they rode in on horses, and by the end of the war, they all drove out in tanks
Right. Yeah.
and rocketry and the earliest jet engines. And it's not just World War II. I mean, some of the Napoleonic Wars. You know, for some reason, technology is like, how can we better kill people? Okay, that's good. Hey, after the war, we could use that for something else, you know?
That is the strangest motivation for technological advancement, right?
Yeah.
How do we kill our enemies faster? And you know,
But
and-
it results in other things that come out of it. I know there's some good there are some history books and stuff that are based in that of like the, you know, this was invented here. And also, you know, they invented this. So that kind of gave us the impetus to start a war and do this and conquer that. And
right.
now in history, you know, there are cases where more in the past where wars destroyed things and we lost technology and whatnot. Until I think it's really, I don't know. Well, I think there were other cultures and civilizations that did this, but the one that comes to mind the most is Rome, where they conquered, but they took everything that was good. They were like, "Hey, look, they've got this over here. Okay, let's incorporate that." You know,
Right. Yeah.
and that became kind of the modern way civilizations. You know, it's like, no, don't throw that out. Enemy's got some good stuff here. We want to.
We'll just assimilate it into our culture
Yeah.
and then say it's really our own, right?
Which really became technology.
Right. But there were some societies though. I mean, now we're delving back now to the ancient stuff that did kind of wreck
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
its advancement. The Babylonians,
Yep.
the Assyrians, the Akkadians. When they came in, they would just slaughter wholesale, and they weren't they weren't worried about nation building.
Right.
You know,
And,
it was
and technology and knowledge was lost. So, okay.
Oh yeah.
So when you talk about if this didn't happen here, this assassination, none of this would have happened.
Right.
There's also that speculation if you went back to those times and had they not wiped out, because we're talking knowledge, we're talking about libraries being burned, like actual knowledge.
The Alexandrian library. I mean,
Right.
who knows what sort of
Right.
sage-like wisdom was, ensconced there. And
Early
it's a lot-
early forms of science. I mean, the math.
Yeah.
Math is very old.
Mm-hmm.
What would Earth look like and society look like had none of that been destroyed, and would have continued to flourish? Like, would
Yeah.
we today in 2020 be on the Starship Enterprise going to the planet Vulcan or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
there were
right.
times in history where you're correct, the clock turned back. Because there's that famous you've seen that computer that they found, was it Phoenician or whatever, in that
Oh yeah.
in
Uh-huh.
the wreck. I mean, they call it a computer. It was a mechanical device, and they've recreated it a few years back. They used all the advanced imaging, like you do, to actually figure out what's inside, and then some scientists actually recreated it exactly as to how. I mean, it seemed to be like a navigational type machine.
Yep.
But that technology was all lost
Yeah.
and reinvented. What if that machinery had not been lost and it would have been iterated on and built on? Would the internet have come about in, say, 1918?
Interesting.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it there, smart boy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very interesting to think about.
But, I mean, history flows as it flows, but
yeah.
that's another kind of mind exercise to think, well, what if all that technology, the value in it was seen and it was continued on, would the Romans have been even more advanced, more like, say more like an Enlightenment at that point,
Yeah. I tend to believe the Romans would have ended up in the same position they were anyway,
Yeah.
simply just because of their form of government and the psychotic rule of some Caesars that did more to bring about,
That's a good thought to think about, Jason.
It is, yeah. But
As we live in the most powerful nation state in the world.
Sure. I mean, listen, there is no Renaissance if there wasn't a Crusades. I mean, think about it. The only reason why Europe drug itself out of the Dark Ages was meeting and socializing with much of the Arab world, which was far advanced in mathematics. Science. Heck, our number
invented math.
Our number system is Arabic.
Yeah, they invented math.
Yeah. So I mean,
geometry, all of it.
Right. And then by chance, that society then stunted itself, kind of frozen in amber, so to speak, while the growth of the West, and
this is a great episode of Star Trek. We're talking.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's like on that last mission, and like McCoy's like, Jim, I left my tricorder down in Julius Caesar's chamber.
Right.
You gotta go back and get it. Dun 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 dun. Right. Here's the Roman centurions with phasers and stuff. Not so fast, Captain Kirk.
Right.
Dun,
I mean,
dun,
that's
dun.
why they always wrote, "Don't screw with the Prime Directive."
Exactly.
Isn't that episode piece of the action was because
yes.
somebody left something behind or whatever, and their society evolved with that sort of mentality.
Well, there's actually two episodes. One is piece of the action where the original survey crew before the Federation, like an early Earth survey crew, pre Starfleet and Federation, just when Earth was kind of going out and exploring planets, there was a little bit of that. Although I think that kind of got retconned in Enterprise, but I don't. Yeah, that kind of got retconned in Enterprise. But there were probes and surveys. They supposedly went there, and they accidentally left. Was it some book or just that one book about the gangs, the Chicago gangs of the 1920s?
Yeah.
And so is it the Iconians, I think? I
Yep.
think that's their name.
Yep.
They found that they're a highly what do you say, influenced
Oh yeah.
race of aliens, of people, which, interestingly enough, look just like humans. But, you know, they're, what do you say when someone's like, picks up on things, what's the word? My mind is going here.
Emulate?
Yeah, that's right. There's another word for it, but I can't think of it right now. But and so they read this book, and then, you know, Kirk and they came back, you know, oh, we got to go check on these people. We know that they were visited by Earth probe, and there was no prime directive then, and so we need to see. And so they beam down, and here it's like 1920s Chicago gangs, and the Iconian civilization is living, and they call the book, that's their Bible, like they have it in there, you know.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Hey, didn't that episode have Vic Tayback in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Vic
There you go.
Tayback is can't remember what the character's name.
Well, one of them was what, Bella, right?
I think Vic Tayback was Bella. I think, maybe the other guy, but yes, one of them was Bella. It has the great final act where Kirk is now dressed up in, you know, he's got the hat.
Pinstripe suit.
Yeah, and they finally get their phasers back, so now they're, the Enterprise is Kirk's back in charge, right? After being captured and all this stuff. And, you know, I mean, the great thing about Captain Kirk is he could just, he could blow him away. Of course, that's not how the Federation works, but, you know, he's got the upper hand. He could do whatever, but he's always kind of trying to find a creative solution. It's like, this is a society on a different planet. People think Kirk is just some womanizer flying in the planet. That is a very superficial idea that people have of Star Trek. If you actually watch the show, these people are actually really smart. Captain Kirk is very smart, very dedicated to what the Federation's mission is, you know.
Right.
And he is always concerned about the planets and the aliens and the people they visit, you know.
Right.
He's always the one who has to slap the bad people in order and go, you know.
But there are times where he rubs up against the Federation because he has that heroic inner moral code.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's the hero, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he does that thing at the end where he's like on the desk. He's like, "Okay, you guys, here's what we're gonna do. The Federation is gonna get a cut from what you guys, you know what I mean?" He does this whole thing, and so the bosses make peace because they're having gang wars and all that, so they're having wars. So they end up making peace and stuff, and he goes, "And if I find out you're cutting the Federation out, I'm gonna come back with my heaters, and we're gonna take." And they're like, "Okay, okay, Kirk, we got it. And then they go back on the ship as they're flying away. Spock's like, "I do not understand what you just did there." And he goes, "Look, it's very," and Kirk's like, "Look, it's really logical, Spock. It's like, this is how they set up their society. This is the only way they understand in their development of what's going on. So I just used the idea that the Federation and all that, and they need to, toe the line here, and that should work out for their future,
Yeah.
And Bones is like, "Yeah, see that, Spock?" Mm-hmm. And Spock's just like, Spock's doing his...
Live long and prosper. You are,
That's right.
after all, essentially irrational.
Anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's a great one. There was the other one, too. There's actually a few episodes, but the other famous one that kind of dovetails that, which is a similar thing, which is the one... He wasn't a captain. He was like an anthropologist or something, a scientist. And he goes down to the planet, and he's supposed to follow the Prime Directive, but he doesn't. And he ends up setting the planet up to Germany, 1938. Remember?
Yeah.
So there is that one, too. And it's a similar thing, where they have to go down and go, okay, we need to fix this and quickly, you know.
Right.
And we're walking around with swastikas and stuff, you know.
Not good.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one too. So anyway, and the whole and the outcome, basically the whole premise of that story is the guy, the anthropologist or whatever the dude, Federation dude that ended up doing that.
Yeah.
Like if you really boil it down, his whole, because the society, that planet wasn't doing very well. They were disorganized and they weren't being very successful. So he wanted them to be successful. So he turns them into a fascist, you know, based on, you know, Hitler and everything. And his whole point is, well, they made the trains run on time, so this would work, you know? I mean, it's like,
Right.
dude, you do not get that. Yeah, it's a weird episode. But I mean, it's a kind of a philosophical episode. And
Sure.
Kirk's just scratching his head like, huh?
Right. Yeah.
You know? He's like,
Yep.
Spock? And Spock's like, I don't know. This is a mess. I don't get it.
Well, that was the cool thing about Roddenberry, though. I mean, within the entertainment, sometimes he made you think.
Right.
And that's what good science fiction should do, though. You know.
You know, and then in the next generation, they beam down to a paradise planet where everyone's young, healthy, and really doesn't wear any clothing. They're all running around going, hey, how's it going? Hey, Wesley, come play with us. If you know what I mean, Wesley, come play with us. You know? I'm half naked. You know, and everyone's like, wow, this is just an awesome planet. And then Wesley breaks a pot of flowers and he's sentenced to death, right? And you're like, wait, stop. That was an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, our laws, if you don't respect our laws, he broke the plant. That's punishable by death. It's like, but you people are so healthy and naked. Well, that's right. But we still have rules. We don't have rules about clothing or free love, but we do about our tulips.
Right, breaking plants.
No. It's like, that came out of left field. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Wolf?
That's right. Number one, explain.
Number one. Stop looking at the naked ladies.
Right.
Put your head in the game, number one. They're going to kill Wesley, number one.
Right. Super glue that pot back together.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we could glue it back together for you. Really? We have molecular glue. We could beam down a new one. And I think they actually proposed that in the episode. It's like, we could fix this. You know, we are the Starship Enterprise D, not the A, not the original, the D, which has
right.
like so much more better technology than Kirk's Enterprise, right?
Oh, yeah.
You figured they got some pretty decent futuristic super glue, right? No, that's not good enough. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? You're running around naked, you're so happy. He just broke some frickin' tulips. Get your head in the game.
That's right.
We're from the Federation. I could just do Picard all day, dude.
It's great. Put Picard in different situations where it's totally weird.
Look at you. The boy steps on some plants, and you've got these naked people running around here. Put on some clothes.
Number one, put your pants back on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't care if you're trying to fit in on the planet, number one. You're from the Federation. Get your head in the game.
That's right.
I think that's Picard's new phrase. See, forget about this new Picard thing that they're doing. I'm going to do my own Picard, Picard series. And what my Picard series, this would be Star Trek Picard, as produced by Doc and Jason. Not Alex Kurtzman and CBS. Ooh. Yeah. And so he goes around. So here's what our Picard show would be. It would be so much better. Think about this. What would he do in retirement? Well, he's going to get a ship. Maybe not like the big Enterprise D. Maybe something a little bit smaller and sporty.
Right.
How about that warp drive Bentley over there? I like that. Right?
Right. Okay, would he have gone in seclusion, or would he have used his knowledge to do something in retirement? Like he could do his own like galactic space tours.
No. See, what Picard's going to do in retirement, he's going to get his own cute little fast spaceship, kind of a, midlife crisis spaceship, right?
Sure,
Paint some flames on it. Look, number one, I put flames on the side. Sexy. Chrome warp nacelles, number one. Chrome.
Let me show you what's under the hood.
From Omicron Theta 3. That's special. And look what I traded the Ferengis for. It's a hood ornament. Like he's going to have this bitchin' little starship, right? And it's going to be fast too, right?
Oh, it's going to be like the space of equivalent to a Corvette, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say Lamborghini, but you're right. Picard's more like a Corvette man. Yeah, more like it. Yeah. Muscle car. Maybe
Right.
Camaro, Jean-Luc.
Or would he do a Trans Am?
Yeah. Camaro.
Or
Anyway.
maybe old Mustang.
Yeah, pony car. So he's flying around. And so what he does is the whole series is he goes back to these planets he visited before in the Next Generation. So obviously the first one's like, maybe he takes number one with him. Or Worf. He's got to take one of it. Or Geordi.
Yeah.
He's like, Geordi, remember that planet where everyone was naked? What do you say we go visit them and see how they've developed? If you
Wink,
know,
wink,
and
wink.
Jordy's like, yeah, that's a good idea, Captain. It's put it down
his
right
voice
over
like,
there.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly. That's like dirty old men.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do with your time? He's not married or anything. He's going to have a sports car, warp drive, sports car spaceship. And he's going to go around to planets he'd like to go check in on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not in the nasty planets. Risa. Remember they'd always go to, was it Risa, the vacation planet? They don't wear that many clothes on Risa either, Geordi. What do you say? Are you game, Geordi? Yeah. Sounds good. If I could get your head out of those warp nacelles for 5 minutes, we could go have some fun.
Picard, I didn't know he was turned into such a horn dog, man.
Yeah,
He's a part
yeah. Did you bring some cigars? Very good. Yeah, no, see, my Picard, because they have Star Trek Picard right now. And it's all like, he's kind of, I don't know, I guess he's kind of dour. I don't know, man. My Picard would be like,
Mr. Furley from Three's Company.
Look, Picard was always kind of a stiff guy, right?
Right.
Like Kirk was like, hey, I'm Captain Kirk. What do we got going on here? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Klingons. But Picard was always kind of a stick in the mud, right?
He was, yeah, because Kirk always rolled with it.
Right.
You know?
So in retirement, I'm thinking Picard's like, oh, man, I was a real stick in the mud, wasn't I?
I've got years to make up.
I got to put chrome on this warp drive. And he had a few moments, a few glimpses in the series where you kind of could tell there was a guy there somewhere, like a guy. You know what I mean? And it was when he liked, remember what his hobby was? Do you know what his hobby was?
No,
Archaeology.
Is what?
Archaeology. Remember? He was an archaeologist. In fact, he had studied archaeology in college, and his professor was actually an episode played by Norman, what was that guy's really great old actor too, was always disappointed because Picard was kind of his protege, and he thought Picard was going to go on to be a professor of archaeology.
Yeah.
But archaeology was his thing. And then you remember he goes off on a vacation to do archaeology, and what happens? He meets a lady who's like kind of Indiana Jones lady, romancing the stone kind of Picard. See, that's the Picard we want today.
Right.
We don't want Picard going around in the universe and the Federation's all messed up and Romulans and everybody's messed up. No, we want swinging Picard. I was a stick in the mud back then. Now, I'm an amateur. You know, kind of like he's Indiana Jones. It's like, I'll steal your artifact for you, and I'll take the lady with me.
That's right.
You know, I mean, come on, Geordi.
Load up the space cruiser.
Load up the cruiser, Geordi. We're going on adventure. You know? Yeah, that would be good. That would be Doc Normal's Picard.
That would be awesome.
People would love it. People would be like, I like this Picard.
Yeah.
You know? He'd be like, Jim Kirk's got nothing on me.
That's right.
I may be 90 years old, but I'm still swinging. You know?
That's right. That's
You know?
right.
And then, yeah, that would be Picard, you know, and he'd be doing the archaeology, and like he'd be like there was that one movie. I don't know if did you see all the Next Generation movies?
No, huh?
Okay, there was one movie called Insurrection.
Okay.
Next Generation movie. And you know Insurrection because at the beginning of the movie, Data's doing some science on a planet, and things go wacky, and he starts getting in a phaser fight with people on the planet, and then the Enterprise has to go, and it's like Data's gone crazy. What's going on? So they go to retrieve Data because he's malfunctioned. Something's going wrong, and they end up singing a musical in the ship to get Data to, I mean, it's kind of wacky. But anyway, they find out that this planet has all these quantum properties or whatever. Mm-hmm. And one of the side effects of this on a human being is it regenerates your body.
Ah.
So it's like a planet quantum spa. So as the crew of the Enterprise are down there, and, you know, Picard's not young, all of a sudden Beverly Crusher's like, oh, you know that mole you used to have? It's gone now. You know? And your muscle, you remember that muscle scar tissue you had? It's not there anymore. Right? So this quantum radiation stuff is regenerating your body. And they end up like talking to the local people who live there on the planet. And they're pretty good looking people, average looking people. And it turns out like the one lady Picard's like making some time with, kind of hot woman. She's like 400 years old or something, you know, but she's hot because it's like she's on this planet. It's like, hey, I ain't got no problems. I ain't aging. The aging problem. And so there's a scene where Picard's in his room, and it's like totally unlike anything you ever see from Picard from the series or whatever. And he turns on some Latin music and does a little dance in his room because he's feeling it.
Oh.
Like, because he's been regenerated and he's feeling good, man. The body's feeling good. And there's a kind of a sexy lady down on the planet that he's going to go down and meet and talk to. And they're both kind of looking at each other like, how you doing? How are you doing? I'm doing fine. How are you? I'm fine. How are you doing?
Right.
You know, so that would be my Picard. That would be my Picard. Those elements of the Picard.
Oh, yeah.
I like archaeology. I like a nice cup of Earl Grey. And I like an elegant woman.
Elegant.
Do you like Dixon Hill? Do you like the stories of Dixon Hill? Do you like private detectives?
Right. Have you ever heard of Miles Davis?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly, you know? And then the old crew would meet up with him, and it's like, Captain Picard, Admiral, Captain, how are you? You know, and he'd be like, I'm fine, how are you? It's like, oh, Captain, you done pretty well for yourself in retirement. Have you seen my chrome nacelles on my spaceship? It's
right.
pretty sexy. You know, they're just like, wow, Picard's like totally different in retirement, is he?
Right, and you'd say slick lines like, I find that retirement agrees with me.
Oh, yes. Oh, that would definitely be one of his lines.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you nailed it, right? Like in the captain's chair of his spaceship, he's like, let's go to Risa and get a little sun and exercise. Make it so. Then he turned and is aside going, I find retirement is... What was the line? It's like...
I find that retirement agrees with me.
Exactly, right? You know? He'd be like... And Geordi would kind of nod like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Worf, you are looking a little blue, my friend. Off to Risen we go.
Yes.
Oh. I like
Yes.
that.
I do not. Warriors do not like the sauna. Mr. Worf. Pull that bat lift out of your ass and come join us.
That's right. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, man, that would be my Picard. That's the Picard. That's the Picard we want.
It is.
You know?
It is. Yeah.
Swinging Picard, you know? Because you've done all the hard stuff. Now it's time for you to enjoy your retirement, you know? I was a
Right.
former Starfleet captain. We went on adventures. How about you? Do you like archaeology?
Right. I just want to make sure that my golden years are golden.
Exactly.
Wow, Picard, you rock.
Yeah.
Everybody to the Lido deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
Exactly, man. It would just be, again, it's the Picard we want.
It is. It is. It is.
So yeah. Anyway, so coming to a network streaming service in 2022.
There you go.
Curmudgeons, Doc and Jason's Star Trek Picard.
That's right. So what do we call it, though? I mean, they got the Picard thing done. We've got to give it its own,
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Boy, what would you call it?
That is tough.
See, I just call it Picard, but, you know, I
Picard,
guess that's already taken, I guess, you know.
Right. Oh boy. I have to think on that one because
Yeah.
it deserves a picture perfect name. Something encapsulates it.
Yeah. I mean, what year are they in? Like the 2330s or 24th? I don't even know. You know, it could be Picard in the swinging 30s, you know, or something. You know,
Right.
I don't know. It'd be like something like that, right? You know, but
Right.
I'd dig it. I'd watch it. I think it'd be good.
That's right. I got to think on that though, because there could be a graphic from this too.
Oh yeah.
It's the streams.
Yeah.
Maybe put them in a Hawaiian shirt.
Do you like my ship? It's inspired by the lines and design of a 1972 Camaro.
That's right. They
pretty
call these
bitchin', isn't it?
Bermuda. Yeah, they call these Bermuda shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow.
Oh man. Yeah. That's the Picard we want.
That's right.
Come on, people. You know that's what we want. Anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna binge watch that thing once it's done. I'm not hearing good things, but whatever. I mean,
No,
I don't know. I make my own decisions. I mean, I gather it's probably not as bad as the other stuff, but maybe not. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just dream up my own Picard.
that's right.
Sports car driving.
Right. Well,
Earl
since
Grey,
they call it Picard, maybe it's something simple, just like Jean-Luc.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know,
Jean.
Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
That's right.
he'd, he'd get on his communicator. You know, it's like, Johnny, I just met a fabulous woman here down on Riza. Oh, Jean-Luc's on a tear, Johnny.
That's right.
Over
I must
and
tell
out.
We started off with fondue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Jean-Luc,
and then you'd have like mid-season. You
Yeah.
have the episode where it's like, you know, Jordy would call down and just like, Jean-Luc, I gotta tell you something. What's wrong, Jordy? Calm down, Jordy. What's wrong? Beverly Crusher. What's going on with Beverly? She's here. She's coming here. Oh my God, Beverly Crusher's here. You know, then he's running around the apartment on Riza, like hiding all
Right.
the booze and all the
Right.
kinky weird. And he said, "Oh Jesus, Beverly Crusher's coming. Clean this place up now."
Right, Jordy, she can't see me with Linda.
Yeah, it's like the bachelor pad, you know. He's got to clean up before Beverly shows up because,
Sock away that lava lamp.
take down all the Nagel paintings.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. That's what we do around here.
How about we just call it still trekking?
Still trekking. Still trekking.
Yeah.
Picard, still trekking. This week on Picard, still trekking. Oh my God, I'm worried about the warp drive. I feel like it might explode. Wait a minute, Beverly's coming? Oh, drop everything. We've got to clean this place up. Oh my God, she can't see this.
That's right.
I will get so much of a mountain of crap.
What do I say to her? It's been too long.
Exactly. Beverly, it's been too long. How are you? And he's like standing behind like a saucy painting of a woman, you know, like one of those kind of like bachelor pad kind of a, you know, paint.
Yeah, he's
you know,
he's trying to hide it behind a palm tree.
just, how have you been, Beverly? How's Wesley? They open up a cabinet and it's just full of empty bottles of booze.
That's awesome.
Oh, you know, I rented it out to some kids. They must have had a party here. Yes, Beverly. That's what it was, a kids' party. How's Wesley?
I collect them for the deposit.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are calling him. People are calling him up on the communicator while he's talking to Wesley. Jean-Luc, this is Susan. How are you doing? What are you wearing? How you doing? Susan. Yes, Susan. Susan the yes. Well, Susan is my you know, he's like trying to like personal trainer. No, not my personal trainer. She's my
cleaning lady.
Yes,
she comes
no,
every
not
Tuesdays.
my cleaning lady. Architectural student. That's right. She's designing a wing here on the Picard bachelor pad. Did I say bachelor pad? I meant the Picard baccalaureate pad.
That's awesome. And in the background, there's another thing on the answering machine. You know, leave a message at the tone. Beep. Jean-Luc, this is Bambi. You're supposed to go snorkeling at 3. Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Beverly's just like looking around. Yeah.
One eyebrow is raised. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to stay and talk, Beverly, but I've got to go clean my phaser. Did I say clean my phaser? I meant clean the tricorder. Yeah, exactly. Oh, jeez. Yep, that's the Picard we want.
That's beautiful. Still trekking.
Still trekking. Still trekking. Yeah, no, that's it. Still trekking. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, well, we probably should go.
On that note.
Yeah. Well, no, always ended on a good high note.
Right.
Hi, did you say hi? I didn't say hi.
Hi.
He's like hiding the stash. It's like,
Right. Jean-Luc, is that a bong?
Yeah.
No, it's a
this is a glass
flower
Yes.
plant. Did I say pot? I
no.
didn't mean pot. I meant plant.
Glass artifact from mid 20th century Earth. Yes, we're studying it.
Isn't it quaint?
We're not sure what the residue is inside, but we'll figure it out with the sensor array.
We
tomorrow.
still have not learned who Mary Jane is.
And there's a bizarre reference to some Earthlings named Cheech and Chong.
That's right. I do not know what up in smoke means.
Yes. Yes. We're trying to figure out the phrase, Dave's not here, man.
Mr. Cheech and a Mr. Chong.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Beverly's just like tapping her foot, just like looking at him.
Still tracking.
Still tracking? Would that be like his phrase at the end as soon as they take off to warp? And like it's like, warp factor 7, Mr.
Right.
LaForge or whatever, right? And then he just sort of make it so, and then he just turns to the camera and does the hang loose, you know,
Right,
the Hawaiian
yeah.
hang loose. Still trekking.
The wink.
Or should it be the Vulcan? Still trekking. Maybe the Vulcan,
trek.
because that would be like kind of the hang loose of the 24th
Right.
century.
Live long and prosper,
Yeah,
right?
still trekking. Make it so.
Or like, oh, Jean-Luc, I hate to go. I don't want to see you alone here. You do not worry, madam.
Yes.
I am still trekking.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay, Beverly. I get along. Everything's fine. I have plenty of books to read and Earl Grey tea. Yes, that's right. Earl Grey tea and plenty of books. You know.
Do not worry. I am still trekking.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes, I can't stay. I have a party. I mean, did I say party? It's it's
a
very
condo owners meeting. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very important anthropological dig on Omicron 3. Oh, yes, that's it. Did I say party? I didn't. Must have. I don't know what I was thinking.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's the Picard we want. Telling you, man.
Uh-huh.
That's the Picard everybody would tune in for, man.
It is. Listen, if you're dealing with the apocalypse, that is the type of Picard you want to sit down to
Exactly.
and just binge watch.
Yeah. Oh, Jordy, look at this. New chrome headers for the warp drive. Like he's always pimping out his ride, you know.
Right.
Like it's like they have to make some side detours to get some. I'm going to beat a Ferengi. Wait till you see the spoilers on this thing.
Right. He will swoon at my cherry bomb.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, it's just like yes.
The spoilers.
The Klingon Empire will keep calling him because they realize he's the most alpha male in the quadrant.
Right. I told you I'm retired.
You have so much honor. You are so. What do you say on Earth? Bitchin'.
I believe the term is macho.
Yeah.
An episode could be called "The Last Man in the Federation."
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
I will not process my feelings. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We could do this. We could write it. It writes itself.
Oh, it's done. We got it. We're on it. You know, come on. We know what we're doing around here.
Of course, we're still trekking.
That's right.
You gotta go.
Still trekking. Well, I think that sort of wraps it up for the day.
I believe so.
You think? I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to... that's weird. Still got that thing going on there. But anyway, yeah. So, I guess we will just wrap it up.
Sure.
And we'll be back, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh,
we'll be
sure.
back.
Sure.
Maybe sooner rather than later.
Right. I wouldn't mind doing one maybe here on Friday again or something.
Yeah, at least.
You
I
know,
think
see-
so.
Yeah.
At least.
This time I'll come in the studio.
Well,
And I'll be wearing my homemade biological hazmat suit.
it is a quarantine, though, you know.
Well, sure.
So, I'm just saying. You might want to keep your distance.
Just saying.
You might want to go back to the coast.
Right. It may be that.
Social distancing. All right, I'm going to try to play this thing out again one more
Okay.
time, this new theme song,
Excellent.
if it works. So I will see you again soon. We'll be back. See you later.